and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back. Yo, I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blickety black, 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 y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, cause I'm black.
All right, I wanted to try something new before the beginning of the show. Hopefully that worked. If not, I'm gonna have to re-edit this whole episode just so we can get it on YouTube. Now I am doing other things in the background, so you can't see us, but now you can. Hello, everybody. It's your boy Mark Simmons from Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux. It's time once again for another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays. Of course, I'm joined this week and every week by Kev. It's your boy Kev in the building.
Accept all, chase none. Like steel. Bah. I looked at that Leroy Smith trailer before we started.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We're celebrating all things black this month. Oh, actually, no, we're celebrating all things black every month.
Mm-hmm. But especially this month.
But this month we're being egregious.
Oh, I thought it was aggressive. No, I'm aggressive every month, but egregious, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're joined this week by the egregious one.
Indeed.
Sinziak is in the building. Also, 5 weeks in a row of 2024.
Welcome to Black Ass History Month.
Excuse me.
2024.
I think I mentioned this last week. Can we not call it Black History Month? I want to call it Black Excellence Month.
You know something? I saw someone say that their kid called this Black Future Month.
Ooh. I like it, but we cannot. Oh, we can't forget where we came from. So, that's what I'm saying. I want to combine it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like talking about the future doesn't necessarily mean excluding previous things, but okay.
We gotta celebrate it all. We don't know the history, then we are doomed to repeat it. Kev's not the only one with quotes in this mode. Even though I'm pretty sure I butchered mine. Well, hope everybody's doing okay this week. We've got some tech news. We got some gaming news. Unfortunately, most of it's labor related because it's 2024. And of course, what else is there to talk about than people losing their jobs?
Yeah.
You want to know? You want to know what we could talk about?
I would love to know.
The article on DC Analysts, wherein I also talk about people losing their jobs. I'm sorry, it's a terrible time.
What's going on, Merge? If we don't know our history, then we are free to make it up. No, Merge. No. No. It's not what we do here.
No, Merge, you know something? No, wait, let them cook. Let them cook. But you know something? Fair.
I've been thinking about you.
That sounds very...
I see where all of this is coming together, and I'm kind of enjoying it.
I mean, sure, if I'm going to tell my child this is, but also that just sounds very colonizer-y.
What? Just
making it up.
What is colonizer-y about imagination? Major. They have been copying our imagination for a while now.
Oh, I know.
I hope and I wish that you're doing okay.
I'm just saying.
Remember, according to some people in certain states, we learned valuable life skills when our ancestors were enslaved.
Well, I mean, I don't know. According to some people, that was a choice that we made. So,
yeah, some rappers in Chicago do believe that.
Child, it's nonsense out here. But we're leaving that for them. These miscreants and scrap in the streets. I'm not here for. I'm over here. I'm comfortably. Do you see me over here in my design? Not just in my bag, in my designer bag.
What's going on? Listen, Minfer TK. What's going on? Love from Turkey, guys. Hello, Turkey.
Hello.
Let's get into it, shall we?
What are we getting into?
Well, again, like I said, labor news mostly.
I hope you do.
But I'm gonna start off things with, of course, one of our favorite companies. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would like you to slide me a link if you can.
It's in the Discord.
Where? Oh, is it?
I've been pinning them again.
News?
I've been pinning them again.
Is it in the station?
No, it's in our usual place. It's pinned.
Okay, you do not understand the confusion that is both happening and being dispelled at the same time, but okay.
What happened?
Go back to where we were.
Because I'm like, this was on the 26th, but that was before Thursday, so surely it's not this one. It was, apparently.
Well, the third place was 25th. 26th would have been that Friday.
Do you see why the end there and the confusion? I'm just like, wait, this would be. Never mind.
Yeah. But let's get into it, shall we? With this article, Tesla recalls 200,000 more cars due to a backup camera software glitch.
Wow.
It appears that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has come for Tesla once again. This time it's due to a backup camera on nearly 200,000 Model Y, S, and X vehicles from 2023. This is more than 10% of Tesla's alleged 2023 output of 1.8 million vehicles. The issue stems from cameras not turning on when reverse is engaged on the vehicle. Wow, I really need a thesaurus. The NHTSA has stated that the issue stems from a software glitch. And again, I'm going to point out, this is what happens when your car is more cell phone than actual car. I do not care if it is of course Tesla like, well, we'll send out an OTA to fix the issue. Yeah, no, please. Why? If you can fix my car with a damn software update, I'm just not gonna want to drive your car. Just period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what safety features are in place. Like, if you are out here talking about a American brain drain, where people coming from HBCUs apparently aren't smart enough to work at your companies, yeah, fuck you, man. Like, if your engineers are developing software that has bugs that could potentially kill people because shit ain't working, yeah, dog, like, no,
It's just, the whole thing is very confusing to me because, once again, I feel like it needs to be said. There are people who think that this man is a genius.
I mean, including him?
You know, out here thinking he's Hemi Neutron or what have you. Ooh. I just don't like the years that I've seen go by are like a whole time. If you had a person who had to have this many recalls on like their vehicles and things, they wouldn't have a business anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that long ago that this was the case. So, like, I don't know. I guess I feel like this is like, y'all, if we're out here, respectfully, I'm not here to like come for people who are just like, I just like having a nice car or whatever. But if you're out here buying Teslas at this point, what are we doing with that money? And I feel like you should be doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the third time in 2 months that Tesla's had to issue recalls in the United States, and there were another 2 in China for similar issues. Those were pertaining to door locks when you're in a crash, and hey, people can just easily engage your autopilot and not drive the fucking car.
Which, while we're here, can we just talk about the over-the-air updates to your 1,000-pound, 2,000-pound piece of metal or what have you? That someone thought that this was an appropriate way to update things. Why is this who thought this was a good idea? Don't answer that, it's rhetorical.
But of course, you've got Tesla stands who are looking at this but it's so easy. You would have to take it into a shop to get it fixed. Giant metal vehicle, I would rather take it to shop to get it fixed than,
Also,
sure,
there are people who still have to take it in to get it fixed. They do actually have to do that. So what do you even mean?
And it's yes, I know that you don't apply an update while the car is in motion, but again, I don't know. It's one thing where it's I'm getting if you were updating the infotainment system, adding new features to the software part of it, sure. But if you're doing something that is manipulating the hardware, that needs to be something separate. I don't care if it's running software then, but that needs to be something fucking separate.
It really does.
Because if you introduce a software update that breaks something else while trying to fix a hardware issue somewhere else,
let's think a little bit bigger than that. How many episodes of this show, let's say in the last 3 months, last month, have we had, hey, X amount of people decided to hack into this and get a whole bunch of people access to a whole bunch of people's information and hold this stuff ransom. These people have hacked into this place. They've taken over all the machines in the facility and have put malware in here or anything else. Do we think this is a good idea when we also have a low-key spike in cybercrime? What's not clicking, Steven? Explain this to me like I'm 5. Who thought this was a good idea? I would like to see them in the courtyard after our show today.
That'd be kind of wild if it's you have one of those over the air updates and it bricks your car because it corrupts firmware.
And here's the thing.
Start
I'm waiting for that to be a thing that people do on purpose, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so I didn't mention in any of the articles before, but I know I've had a conversation with some people it's one thing if you're updating your phone and whatnot, but it's the thing, it's almost trying to compare it to a bank. It's it's secure and this, that, doesn't look. Or it's when people can hack into your bank and take your bank and take your money out of the bank. A bank is not going to kill me.
Well, one, a bank isn't going to kill you, but the other thing is that those things are insured. They're regulated and they're insured. So
yes.
I'm not gonna trust I'm not gonna trust a software update to a car because I could be in it, something else breaks, and then I'm in it.
Yeah, you're in it. You're on the highway.
I'm sorry, I've seen too much shit. Even with Firefox, with Mozilla putting out that report, so I'm the technology in cars is woefully insecure. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you are issuing software updates that affect the mechanisms, the actual hardware of keeping doors open or closed, yeah, nah, dog. But you can't tell people shit, bruh.
Especially the stands, though.
Oh God, there's one dude specific, if I post anything about Tesla on Mastodon, there is one dude in particular who is in my fucking mentions about this shit. And like, he did it with this article. I said, dude, like, how is it at this point you don't understand what the fuck I am writing? You're not gonna like, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Just get over it. You're not gonna be a fan of this. There's nothing I can
Well,
tell
like,
you.
I mean, sure, but you know, we have to understand and respect that in these streets, people just enjoy having hate boners for things. I don't know what to tell them about that. I think it's unhealthy, and I think it should be addressed in
Yes.
some way, whether by touching several blades of grass every day or talking to a mental health professional if that's what you need. But like, going to places to go to people who are entirely strangers to you to tell them why they should like something that they have given you clear reasons for not liking and that you do not have the ability to provide a decent rebuttal for is weird behavior. Please go do something else. Suggestions this month: moisturize. Use an exfoliating cloth on your ankles. Like, just any of it. Just any of it. But
I like how we reacted to that at the same time.
In more EV news, Polestar's cutting jobs because EVs are too expensive.
Le gasp.
Polestar has announced that it will be cutting the size of its staff down by 50% around the world. This will leave about 450 people without a job. The Swedish EV maker attributed this move to, quote, challenging market conditions, unquote. This is while the company did see global car deliveries go up by 6% compared to 2022 in Q4.
I just have a question.
Yes.
When? Like, I need someone to indicate the time. When did it become so profitable to be a bad business person?
I want to say maybe halfway through 2023. Well, I don't know. We can ask Trump. I mean, he's been a bad business person for decades now.
Because I am, and I mean this with my whole chest, I am genuinely confused. There'll just be, well, we didn't know it was going to be that much risk. And I'm like, isn't kind of like the primary function
They need to lean. They need to go lean, be more agile, be a more sustainable company. That's what I've heard from the 30 fucking CEOs that have laid off people. As a matter of fact, I have been starting using this tag, the layoffs tag, to just link to all of the layoffs that I've written about. Oh, look, there are 4 pages of them.
Just so baffled by the fact that there are just so many people whose whole job is apparently being bad at going, this is expensive. Should we do it? Maybe not. Or anything else. I'm just like, I know y'all, like, I want to believe that y'all have, that y'all are supposed to be, these people that other people can rely on to make decent business decisions because you have the supposed acumen to do that. So it is really confusing to me when you don't. Like, I would just like the quick explainer for like how we keep ending up here, and it's always someone other than you who has to deal with the consequences of that foolishness.
It's the market conditions. There's nothing that they can do, Sin. Like Merge says, who knew?
I will save that rant for another time.
Like Merge says, like, who knew that only making EVs for the high-end market, it wasn't profitable? Who knew that?
You know, I feel through the screen that several of you at home are raising your hands right now because you are correct. It is confusing.
Nobody
It
saw
is
it coming.
confusing to me, and it's confusing to me, and it always will be.
Well, I forgot a dash there. Yeah, Polestar did let it be known that there were going to be layoffs coming as early as May 2023. This happened when they missed production goals by 10 to 20,000 cars. They stood by its decision by saying it was intensifying its focus with cost cutting, which to make the business more efficient. So all words I have seen and have written so many times.
So I got a question here. I got a real important question.
Yes.
If anybody is willing to answer that,
I'll try.
I would love a response here.
Uh-huh.
So if you're a person, just logically now, follow me here. If you're a person who's responsible for making decisions, and the decisions put you behind by thousands of cars, dollar, whatever other metric you use, why do the people who are responsible for following your directions get fired and not the person who gave them those directions? Can someone answer that question for me, please?
I mean, because there are companies out here who have done it several times and have still not embraced the consequences. And I choose my words carefully. Those people have not embraced the consequences of their actions. Actually, I lied. The first time I said it was a mistake, but then I realized the mistake and decided to lean into it.
You know something? I see what you did there.
It was like a Freudian slip, but
you know something? It's a happy accident. Let's say
it was a very happy accident, and I'm going to embrace it. Oh man, there I go again. Yeah, I mean, nobody has made as many questionable decisions as a certain group of people that have yet to embrace those consequences of their actions. But yeah. In more layoff news, Jamf is also laying off some people. They are laying off 6% of their full-time staff. They did not say how many people, or at least given my source, there's no idea how many people were laid off because they normally compared to their staff at the end of 2023. They filed for a staff reduction plan with the SEC. They are saying that this will cost them $6.6 and $8.2 million in severance. I wonder how much it would cost if you kept them employed. Or if you took the money it would have cost them to employ them from, your C-suite. Also do want to share this little post here where somebody responded to the eBay article saying, yeah, here's an idea. Any CEO that is fucked up so badly that they need to lay off almost 1/10 of their workforce should be the first to go.
Yep.
You follow this dude. It's very smart. So Mastodon. Oh, I just saw his domain for Mastodon too. It's ARAL. That's his name. I like that. That's pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure AR.AL was his actual main domain. This looks like a subdomain of that. Anywho. But yeah.
Nonsense and foolery. It's so bothersome.
Moving on to more Apple news. Oh yeah, by the way, Jamf does device management for Apple devices. Just if you want to see where the segue is coming from. And more Apple news. Apple's push notifications could be telling companies about you. Or actually it is, because somebody definitely did that work. Apparently on Apple devices, when a notification pops up on your phone, Apple does allow app developers to run a piece of arbitrary code that will sit there and give kind of smart notifications or give you more information to pop into that little notification bubble. Other companies, however, have been using that little time to execute code to run analytics on your device and report it back to the company. They're not supposed to do that according to Apple's app policies. But yet again, capitalism is going to capitalists, or capitalists are going to capitalists, and they're going to try to figure out a way to skirt the rules, take your data, and figure out ways to sell you ads. So what do you think about this, Kev? Do you feel safe in knowing that you are using an Android phone and they have yet to put out a statement saying that, oh no, this also affects Android?
I'm kind of like it doesn't make me feel good about it. I can tell you that for sure. But that's what I signed up for. When you rock with the iPhone of Androids, literally the iPhone of Androids. So, yeah.
I don't know. I've heard that Samsung is the iPhone of Androids now. As a matter of fact, the Waveform podcast with MKBHD and his crew have recently said that the Samsung Galaxy S24 series of phones were the iPhones of Android.
Mm-hmm.
They're more Google than Google's phone, the Pixel.
Now that's funny to me.
I mean, they issue more updates than the Pixel does.
That is funny to me.
Remember, at one point they were issuing the monthly security updates before Google pushed it out to the Pixel. And now Google is like, you know what? We'll release Android updates when they're available. Like we can't do it monthly. Of course, sending one of the community members into a tizzy. Just like Pulse throwing up the M hands. What's up, Pulse? To call, I was like, you know what? This is why Pixel is failing. Oh, that's what that is? I didn't realize it was this. Now I see it. Let's go to SJ. Sin, as a fellow iPhone user, how do you feel about your data being leaked to companies like LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter?
Me just sitting here and just like, as I will say, for the next 29 days, at the most minor inconvenience. On Black History Month?
On Black History Month.
Technically, this was on January 27th, though.
On Black History Month?
But we're talking about it on Black History Month, so it counts. On Black History Month? There you go.
I tried.
Mm-hmm.
The Black lens, do you decide to come over here with these shenanigans and foolery? But yeah, this is also why there were, I mean, like on a somewhat real note, these are the kind of things that were just like, we knew this stuff was coming when we had to have that whole discussion about people and basically birthing folks and like their right to their bodies and being like, hey, y'all better be careful about the application that you use and the settings that you use and what they're able to communicate about you, because these people will be trying to use that information to send you to jail in about a year's time. And now, here we are. So, like, if we hadn't had the whole Negradamus moment a year and a half ago, I would actually be shocked by this. At this point, I'm mildly annoyed. Somewhat disgusted, but I have to have a phone. So it's not like I can pick a different type of phone unless they're made by like a niche group of 5 people who are like radical anarchists. We're stuck here.
Can I introduce you to Ubuntu's mobile OS? That I'm sure runs on some Android phone somewhere. I don't know. I should check into that. Like, I have 2 Android phones just sitting in this house somewhere. I should probably see if I can get it working on one of them. All right, now here's a big one. Speaking of Apple news, you can get Librem 5. Yeah, speaking of Apple and things that are happening with Apple, Apple released some huge changes last week. And it took me a weekend to kind of go through it. And even now, I still am like, look, it's too much. Mainly because I'm not an app developer, so I don't get it. But the European Union has forced Apple's hand to make some changes. Apple made those changes, but mostly for the EU. So let's go into. I'm gonna break it down.
Break it on down.
I hear somebody coming upstairs. Before we break it down, I'm gonna introduce. Analysts is in the building. The one true major. What's up, buddy?
Major Linux, the next generation.
No, sir. We're watching a pod. Not watching. We are doing a podcast. We are creating a podcast. Would you like to join the podcast?
I was just checking.
Would you like to join the podcast?
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about Apple and their changes that they made to iOS and iPad OS in the EU. What do you think about the changes?
I think they're kind of awesome.
You think Apple is awesome for making these changes?
Yes.
Well, why? Can you specifically tell me why you think it's awesome?
Because Apple made changes so people can feel better about the internet.
Oh, really? So Apple is making a positive change in the internet.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What change specifically do you like about it?
I'm loving this segment with our on the ground correspondent.
I'm sorry?
They added new episodes.
Now I want to ask what Munchkin thinks about Apple's involvement.
They added new TV shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if that plays here.
I'm a fan of a TV show.
You're a fan of a TV show?
Paw Patrol.
I mean, I'm a little apprehensive about it. You know how I feel about Paw Patrol. He chases the ops.
A-cab.
There's A-cab all day.
But they made new places. They made one new place.
So what does this have to do with Apple changes in the European Union?
They added a new jungle in Paw Patrol.
I don't think there's any jungles in Europe.
Fair. I don't think they have the climate for that.
Jungle into Paw Patrol.
Huh?
They changed to look at the vehicles and the suits.
Do their vehicles have Apple CarPlay?
Dude.
Then what does this have to do with Apple?
It's a show.
Right,
not
but we're
Apple.
right, but we're talking about Apple and their changes in the European Union when it comes to the App Store policies. I feel like you've lost the thread here. I'm trying to get your focus back on the podcast.
But the vehicles are so awesome because they're animal vehicles.
Oh, okay. Would you like to talk about? Well, it seems like you don't want to talk about Apple. I see that you're wearing a Sonic shirt. Would you like to talk about some video games?
Yeah.
Did you see the new trailer for the Sonic video game that's coming out? Would you like to discuss the PlayStation State of Play that aired last evening?
Oh my God, Sonic Dreams.
You have Sonic Dreams?
Yes.
Okay, so are you going to give us a review of Sonic Dreams?
Yeah, it's like a game for Sonic Dreams. And the thing you have to go. There's speed ones.
Uh-huh.
There's also practicing.
Oh, okay.
There's key things so you can unlock them.
Oh, okay. So what would you rate Sonic Dreams if you had to give it like a score?
There's ranked on video games if you're on tablet.
So it's what devices is it available for?
Or
Wait.
tablets.
On tablet? What kind of tablet?
A tablet that's Apple.
So an iPad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can they get in on Android?
So Apple just put things like Apple plays in video games.
Apple's making video games now? This is a scoop. We got a scoop. Apparently, according to the one true major, Minor Linux, Apple is in the video game market. They are making video games now.
Wouldn't put it past them.
Any other bombshells you want to drop on Tech Talk Thursdays?
There's like new filters. There's like new filters on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
What are these? What are these filters? I mean, what do these filters do?
One of the filters can show that there's water in the house.
Oh no. Well, I guess it's fun if you want to swim in your house, right? Do you like TikTok?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about TikTok?
That new fit like the water filter.
The water filter. That's all you do. You only play with the filters, right? You don't make videos.
We do.
Oh, sometimes you make videos on mommy's account.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I also just hurt my butt.
You hurt your butt. Was this medical news? You get Amazon healthcare to fix your butt?
No, not like medical news.
This is not medical news. It sounded like a medical news.
But I just slipped on the floor.
You slipped on the floor? Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any more tech? Hey, stop pushing on that. Do you have any more tech and gaming news you'd like to share with the folks?
Yeah.
What is it?
So.
Are you getting new internet?
You know, like there's a new Fortnite mode where where Fortnite becomes Lego.
Oh, you mean Lego Fortnite? Have you been able to play Lego Fortnite?
Yeah, with you.
Oh, with me. What did you think about Lego Fortnite?
It was awesome.
I agree. It is indeed awesome.
Are the panelists Kev said he thinks Lego Fortnite was awesome as well.
Okay.
So what did you do in Lego Fortnite?
I also agree. Lego Fortnite is a
I
vibe.
built a car.
You built a car.
You built a flying thing.
Yes, I did. I did buy something that helped me fly.
But my car just went upside down, and all I did was to fly.
Oh.
But I keep going off-road. I keep going off the track of my house
Oh, okay.
I built for us.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
Yes.
What else you got?
So, do you know there's like I think Apple just created new stuff for the things for apps to be more fun.
Oh, really? What did they do?
Like on the Paw Patrol game last time, I think I do places to the game.
Oh, okay.
Like that jungle I just told you.
Uh-huh.
It's a mythical jungle.
It's a difficult jungle?
Mythical.
Mythical. Oh, wow.
I think they're gonna add that.
Do you think they're going to add that?
So far, they just add the Dino World, the Minecraft Tower,
Mm-hmm.
and also the motor stuff.
Oh, okay. So is that it for all of your tech and gaming scoops?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Our Apple, our embedded Apple reporter, Minor Linux.
Our Apple correspondent. I have learned several things this evening.
Yeah. Very informative.
No, I had to go look up Sonic Dreams. I had to go look that up. It looks like a fever dream for sure. I'm not.
It's Apple Arcade, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was just kind of like I saw Sonic Dreams. I had to go look that up, and then I'm just like, I absolutely did not expect to see a cheeked up Sonic, but here we are.
Merge, no, we don't do Roblox in this house. He is allowed to watch Roblox content, but we do not play Roblox in this house.
Is that mostly to keep him away from the bad people?
There's that. Also, I mean, child labor practices. The boy can figure some things out, and I'm afraid they're going to teach him how to code and make shit in Roblox, and then he's going to try to sell it for less than it's actually worth, and then they're just going to take advantage of my baby, and we're not doing that.
You see what I mean by keeping him away from the bad people?
Damn, you're right. I was looking at the wrong ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's cool, dude. That's cool, dude. That's my dog right there. That's my buddy. One day. So no, he surprisingly, I do have a TikTok story. Which I mean, to be fair, he was on par with a lot of stuff we were talking about here. But yeah, he does not post TikTok videos. He uses my wife's phone, and they play with the TikTok filters. So, occasionally she'll put something up that he does, but what's going on, Ruin? Like occasionally she'll put up something that he does, but yeah, he is not on TikTok like that. He's not watching TikTok content.
Okay.
As As much as he wants to put TikTok on his tablet, it's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Like if there was a way, like if there was an app that just allowed for camera filters and didn't do anything with the video, maybe, but yeah, you still have to sign into TikTok in order to play with the camera filters. And it's that thing of he recording something and pushes enough buttons to get it uploaded somewhere. Which I think he did once on my wife's account.
And you're just like, we're not about to expose you to risk that you are not prepared for.
There you go. But yes, before we were interrupted with breaking news from the Kid Beat, Apple's vastly changed their App Store policies. For one, so what's going on is that the EU has passed their Digital Markets Act, which is kind of saying, hey, you know what? These platform holders need to start gatekeeping. If people want to use other browsers, they should be able to use other browsers. If they want to use other app stores, they should be able to use other app stores. If they want to pay any other way, they should be able to do that. Apple, of course, is like, fuck you, EU, but here are the updates. Unfortunately, those updates are going to European Union only devices, which means the people in the US, while we got to take advantage of USB-C, this is all in software and we don't get the software goodness because Apple still knows what's best for us and we shall never question the almighty Apple. Behold, the almighty Apple. No? Okay. Didn't think so.
You're supposed to T-pose.
T-pose?
Pose. So what are we hearing from the Panopticon, from the Cupertino spaceship?
Yes, from the mothership. We're getting full functioning browsers for the first time on iOS and iPadOS. Surprisingly, for people, this may be new, that if you downloaded Firefox or Chrome or Opera onto your iPhone or iPad, you were still technically using Safari the entire time. It's just, it was reskinned to like these other browsers that have functionality like password sync, tab sync, shared browser history and stuff like that. With the change in the EU, browser developers can now bring in their web engines or their browser engines into iOS. So Chrome, which does all right, to back this up, like when I say like everybody's been using Safari this whole time, they've been using Safari's browser engine called WebKit. Now get merger. I fixed it. Now with the EU only change, if you download Chrome, you will be using Chrome's browser engine called Blink. If you download Firefox, you'll be using Gecko. While this may be great for consumers, possibly, maybe, developers are not too happy about it. Mozilla specifically said that now we have to actually keep track of two browsers, one for the EU and then one for everybody else, and they're not too happy about it. And quite frankly, everybody in the US, I mean, I'd imagine people in the US would kind of be upset about that too, because Blink may be faster than WebKit. Gecko may be faster than WebKit, but we're getting the kind of the watered down version of a lot of these apps where people in the EU are getting full-fledged browsers, which can actually take advantage of extensions that are made for the browsers on the desktop. They can now get them on the web. I mean, not on the web, but on iOS and iPadOS, where we don't get any of these features. But it'll also, I guess it also depends on whether or not those developers who make those plugins will also support it on iOS and iPadOS. Of course, Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, Spotify CEO Daniel Ek, both CEOs of companies that just actually despise Apple have broadcast their opposition to these changes One thing I have not been able to write up yet, Sarah Bond is from Xbox has also come across, has also announced not really liking these changes. But there's actually something later on down in this article that, you know, I'm pretty sure Xbox is celebrating, but we'll get to that in a second. Alternative app stores. Well, some people have been calling this side loading. It's not really side loading. You will technically get to side load a app store. It still has to be approved by Apple before they can even publish it. And all the apps that are going to be in that secondary marketplace or this alternative marketplace, all the apps in it still have to go through Apple before you can even download them from this alternative app store. The only thing is they are not subject to Apple's App Store policies. They just want to make sure it runs and doesn't run malicious code. But hey, if you live in the EU and you finally want to get that Pornhub app for iOS, here's your chance, I guess. Of course, that was the only thing I can think of. Is like, or actually,
major, please.
Or Epic has said that yes, we're releasing their. I could have used the safe ones that Epic is releasing their app store on iOS in the EU, so people can play Fortnite again. But yeah, of course, I thought of the Susio one instead.
Susio boys.
Not in North Carolina.
I know.
These people have
I was hoping
they decided that you have to be chaperoned.
I was hoping that wasn't true. As soon as I saw the news, I ran for my computer. And it's like, no. Well, technically, I didn't have to run. I was already there. As the SJ says, this is the part where if capitalism wasn't balls, Mozilla would have been lobbying in the U.S. to force U.S. standards to match the EU's. I feel like companies have been lobbying that for a while. There have been actually some people in Congress who says, hey, we should actually adopt what they're doing. But yeah, capitalism runs amok in the U.S. And I mean, it's not like it doesn't run amok in the EU either. Imperialism is going to imperialism. But yeah. Also with the alternative app stores, there are definitely a lot of there's some app store price changes that have went along with that too. I don't know exactly what all that means. So if you want, like, look, the article is here. There is the source links at the bottom. If you want to look into any of that shit to understand what that, go right ahead. I don't know. All I know is I pay for apps. Somebody gets my money and that's it. Stop it. But the one thing that they changed that makes sense for everyone, game streaming apps are back, baby. That's right. You can now, if these developers want to do it, these companies want to do it, we can play GeForce Now in an app instead of a browser. Xbox Cloud Gaming in an app instead of a browser. Google Stadia in an app. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I've been told. Oh, I'm sorry. Google Stadia died before this could be a dream. I mean, before their dream could become a reality. I am so sorry. But yeah, like Amazon Luna, possibly even remote play for PlayStation. Yeah, you can finally get those apps now if they decide to push them back out. Because I know I was testing the Xbox Cloud Gaming app back in 2020 before Apple was like, because I think they were about to publish that app to the App Store. It was about to come out of testing on iOS and go to the App Store. And then Apple was like, yeah, no, I see what y'all are doing here. Fuck you, no. Steam had to remove their app because Steam was already doing it with the Steam link. Yeah, that was a sad day in 2020. So what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're in a pandemic. What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess also we're in a pandemic. Where the fuck were we going?
Yeah.
Just play
It's
it in
kinda
your
like-
house.
It's kind of giving that whole like we could have played that when we were out and about, but it's like we're home. We ain't going nowhere. I might as well just sit in front of my computer and my Xbox.
But also
play that.
around that time, game streaming services were starting to hit.
Yeah.
Like again, Stadia. But yeah, we saw where that went.
Yeah.
Now I just have a Bluetooth controller with a weird squiggly line on its little power button.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mentioned is that look, and speaking of streaming apps, while DCA doesn't deal in rumors, I'd be remiss if I did mention that the scuttlebutt is the Apple themselves are preparing to enter game streaming themselves. I kind of believe it. As Apple has been moving into games recently with Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Death Stranding making appearances on Macs and iPhones lately. Being able to play these games on less than capable hardware would be a great boon for Apple. I believe this was 9 to 5 Mac who kind of they had reported on some they reported on some rumors saying that Apple is making this change because Apple themselves may start doing game streaming, which again, yeah, I completely believe because RE4, RE8, and Death Stranding are only available on the iPhone 15 Pros, the iPads with M series chips in it, and Apple Silicon Macs, or possibly even Intel Macs as well. I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't know what that restriction is, if there is one. Excuse me. But yeah, given the fact that older Macs may not be able to run those games, or like less capable Macs will be able to run those games, and less capable iPhones won't be able to run them, it wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that they would introduce some game streaming service that will allow you to play these Mac titles on your phone or on your iPad, regardless of what device you have. Because I don't see it for their actual Apple Arcade. Like Sonic Dreams should be able to run on most devices that run Apple Arcade.
Yes.
But yeah, Death Stranding, no. No. So yeah, what do you all think about these changes that are happening? Would you like to see these changes in the US? And if you did, what app, what marketplace and what app would you download to your iPhone?
Well, see,
Or
as somebody
iPad.
who, yeah, because I own an iPad.
I was waiting for you
I
to say,
would-
well, I own an Android phone, so I could do this anyway.
I mean, yeah, I think I did the whole thing where I like tested like Hades, because like Hades at the time, like when I got the backbone, and I was just testing Hades because that's be the one that would have the latency, and so I tested it on my Xbox and it did fine, and then I tested it on my phone, and the latency was like minimal between inputs. Like you press a button and then it was like, okay, zip. You like zip zap. So I was like, it's pretty minimal. So but it's like I say, it's a nice little gaming experience if you have a good Wi-Fi, as long as you have a good decent Wi-Fi connection, which I do. And it was a fun little experience. But I would probably be mostly playing on my iPad in bed with my spare controller and just play like, I don't know, like Yakuza or Yakuza Like a Dragon or Ishin on it, just to be like in bed, not real away from the PC or on the couch, just like relaxing. Outside of that, probably would just be Game Pass.
So would you like to see the other two that are EU only in the US? Would you like a full-fledged Firefox browser on your iPad
I mean, I'm always of the mindset of, you know, I'm good. I like the apps to do the things. You know, like, you know, if I could just do it through the browser, it's like, what's the point? But if it's like definitive app support, run through the app, and the app works, I'd rather just do it through the app. So.
Well, no, I'm talking about like getting a full-fledged browser as opposed to using Firefox's neutered app in the US.
I don't
like, again, the EU's getting real Firefox with their browser engine as opposed to what we have, which is Firefox using Safari's browser engine.
I guess full Firefox, yeah.
Okay. And App Store, would you download an alternative App Store to your iPad if you could?
Yeah.
And what is the one app that you wish you could have on your iPhone or on your iPad that you would only be able to get through an alternative App Store? Like examples, Pornhub or Epic.
Probably Epic, because like Steam would be great, but I wouldn't mind Epic. Like Steam, basically like Steam remote play-esque thing. Like, yeah.
Well, you get that with the US one, because now you get the streaming apps.
Okay.
But you would rather play Fortnite on your iPad natively.
No, I'd rather play Fortnite on my PC. I ain't playing Fortnite on iPad. Hell no.
You get this fluid 60 frames per second.
Nah, I'm good. I get that now.
No, Kevin needs those tactical controls. Like, you don't
Yeah,
understand.
I need my keyboard and mouse, please and thank you.
You can connect you a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, man. Let's go.
He said Bluetooth keyboard and mouse when I could have the one that is wired into my computer that's wired into the wall. What are we doing here?
I mean, I got wireless. Look, it's great.
I mean, that's cool for you, but for me in this house, PC, baby. Like now, like I say, there are just some games that are like, all right, we getting snazzy and fancy. Let's bring out the controller. But outside of that, nah.
Bring out Lucille.
I appreciate that reference.
Break out Miranda.
Sid, what about you? What would you want these EU policies in the US, and what app would you download from an alternative app store?
So here's the thing. I would like to have those policies, but that's just because, from what I understand, they're just better for everyone else, and corporations can suck it. So that's the position I have over here. But I don't have like a particular like app or alternate app store I would even be looking for, because when it comes to like the streaming things and the gaming things, I want to be either at the computer or at a larger screen than my phone. So all of these things are going to be like, unless this comes with a hookup that lets me plug this into the HDMI port of my television, what am I going to do with that?
Do you think they should roll out the alternative app stores to Apple TV?
If they did that, I would be willing to consider it at that point.
Because I was saying, the thing is that, well, you could just AirPlay it to the Apple TV. It's like, well, wait, why not just have this all tvOS? And then, yeah, definitely. Let's see. For me, yeah, I definitely think that these policies that they've made in the EU should definitely come over to the US and just globally. Period. And yeah, I do have some apps. I have named 2 of them that I would like to get from an alternative app store just because I can. Also, it's not like I'd be able to use one of them in North Carolina anyway, so it'd be a moot point. But just in case. We'll be ready.
But I just have to say it for the memes.
Yeah. I haven't downloaded it, but I can't use it. Post says Fine Wireless streaming is still iffy, and that's me playing locally. There's just a slight delay that I can detect. I mean, yeah, like for me playing my Xbox remotely in my house, it could be an issue. It's sometimes an issue, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I wouldn't play something twitchy on it.
I see what you did there.
It wasn't meant to be that way.
That's two of those today.
I know. One of them was accidentally on purpose. This one was just an accident. In more hilarious news, I'm not sure if y'all remember us covering a story similar to this a couple of years ago, but I did. Japan to stop using floppy disks for bureaucratic work. For one, for those who are new, did you know that Japan still uses floppy disks for bureaucratic work?
I can believe it.
These files are secure. They're not on anything that could possibly be connected to the internet, because those aren't just, that's 5 1/4 right there. That's a 5 1/4.
I think they're still.
That's the
I
OG
think
right
they're using
there.
the 3.5, but
Yeah, 3.5. The 5 1/4 are the true floppies.
But even then, somebody
that
posted on Mastodon when I shared the article, was like, look, like, how do you leak information on a floppy disk? Like, where can you find a floppy drive to actually see it? And I'm thinking, like, damn, he's right. Like, you would really have to go out of your way. But also in Japan, I feel like if they're still using it for bureaucratic work, you can probably like get your hands on a floppy drive fairly easy in Japan if companies still need to use it.
Yeah, you probably there's a lot of like tech things that are just out there, like just like old consumer tech is just out there, and you can just probably find one for pretty good. And all you just have to do is just copy and paste.
Is it like, it's the question of, is it a double-sided floppy or is it just the one? Because we're talking about the, talking about that 1.44 that's moved 2.88 megabytes.
Yeah, I pointed out that one of these will probably not hold a photo. Like just one.
Like just
one.
like
you're submitting bureaucratic work, and like maybe this is like a photo of a thing you're doing, and it will not fit. However,
I put the information that my text messages contain without images or links into a floppy. Just wow.
So for once in this article, I did point out that, this is coming from the country that has two companies work together to make a car that you could drive with a DualSense controller. Unfortunately, I found out that it will not ship with that functionality, and that made me sad again. Why even show that off if I can't have that? It's not even cool, man. It's not. Anywho,
you know something? I'm gonna put that in the DM group, because I don't know if I should say that out loud.
But then I gotta wait all show to figure out what you put in there. It's gonna bother me. Now that 2 is gonna bother me at the bottom.
Merch!
You know what? No, I'm stopping the show right now. I need to know what was written in there. Well, you know what?
Nope.
You're right.
Don't do that.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, you're not wrong.
He's not. He's not. So yeah, the country that gives you remote controlled actual electric vehicles that you could drive in and fit inside, so it uses floppy drives to submit bureaucratic data. I'm pretty sure there was information about this car that's on this website right now, which for those who are listening on audio, the Sony Afeela, which why the fuck do you call it that? But sure, whatever. the Sony Afila, I'm pretty sure there were documents that were submitted to the Japanese government that were on floppy drives about this damn car. But yeah, apparently since like the 90s, Japan was like, hey, you can submit documents to a floppy drive. And then they actually even expanded to CD-ROMs, which would then, I guess, fit the photos that you would want to submit to the government if you wanted to send them photos. And they've been kind of stuck on that, while the US at least decided to put things online, but also security. So in 2023, Japan was like, yeah, we should stop doing this. We should find a way around this. Let's not do this anymore. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of companies are still using it. There's still some things that would need to be submitted through floppy drive, so it's going to be a while before that happens.
Yeah, because, well, apparently they have to change like some of their policies around this because they're just straight up required. But apparently they're both floppy disks and CDs.
Yes.
And I'm like, what y'all are like? I just want to like. I just looked at the article and just gave that a scan. All I could think is, so what you're saying is the sneaker net.
Yeah.
Yeah, sneaker net. Yeah.
For those of you at home,
documents.
For those of y'all who may not be aware, sneaker net is the walking with a physical item from one place to another in order to exchange information, mostly in an office setting or whatever.
Yes.
Let's see here. In 2025, METI, which is the Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry, won't require businesses to use floppy disk and CD-ROMs for a number of ordinances. It'll still be a while before the practice is phased out completely. Kono, which happens to be Taro Kono, the Japanese Minister of Digital Affairs. His team has identified nearly 1,900 protocols across many of the government's departments that will still need to use physical media, including mini discs. So now we've added a third physical medium to this. These requirements apply to key industries like utility suppliers, mining, and aircraft and weapons manufacturers. One of the big reasons for the push to stop using floppy disks is because it's becoming harder to find them. Sony was the last manufacturer making them. You know, the people who made the car that can drive with a fucking controller. But they stopped selling them in 2011. 2011. But here it is 13 years later and they're still using floppy disks. Like at a certain point, like you have to be running that tape ragged, right?
I think it's that, and also just straight up, I'm pretty sure that they haven't upgraded their physical storage media, but they have been upgrading like the programs they use to like write the documents and create them, and like those are going to just output larger files by default. So it's just like y'all are going to, unless y'all are going to make every government item in nothing but pure notepad, y'all are gonna have to do this sooner than later.
No, we're upgrading everybody's computers to Blu-ray. Dual layer Blu-ray.
Y'all are going like we're like 5 seconds away from Windows 3.1 for work groups.
Well, yep. I mean, look, no Windows XP. I think that even modern Windows still supports floppy drives.
Yeah.
Like I think Windows 11, if I were to buy a floppy drive today, I can still use it on Windows 11.
Now, like Major's over here tickled. You just know that at some point after the show, he's gonna buy like something that reads floppy drive just to see.
How? I can't even buy useful tech right now, let alone tech that I'm never going to use. Pulse, I do not. I really do wish I did, but I do not. I have nothing that, like, honestly, like I have nothing, like none of my computers can read physical media right now. I mean, unless you consider a flash drive physical media. But yeah, I have nothing that will read a CD, a DVD, a Blu-ray, unless you're like talking about a console. And I have two of them. My PS3 is still here. And
You were
technically a
about to lie.
Dreamcast that will play a CD.
Dreamcast. A moment of silence for that legend.
Oh, sorry.
Amen.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, before we sit there and cast stones at Japan for being Luddites or just anti new technology, I would like to leave you with this bit of information. The US was using floppy drives until 2019 for their nuclear weapons arsenal.
The U.S., like, as far as the U.S. government goes, I just want to remind y'all that people were taking, like, phone calls on unsecured devices and emailing from Yahoo addresses. Like, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
they were-
sure the
they
government,
were-
I'm pretty
they
sure
were
the U.S.
emailing
government
Molly.
website is on, like, Angel Fire or like, GeoCities.
Well.
I'm just
So, yeah.
saying.
And so this next story is a mix of tech and gaming. I guess technically the Apple one was too.
What we got here?
Spec Ops: The Line, TikTok, and media licenses. One of my favorite games of all time. My son's favorite app of all time. And the fact that, you know, copyright law stifles creativity. Of course, if you have been living under a rock, you may have missed that Spec Ops: The Line has been delisted from every store imaginable. Initially, it was just Steam, but after reporting came out, it started being removed everywhere. To where when I checked yesterday, we can go back and check again. Actually, there we go. The cost of a copy of Spec Ops: The Line is now running $90. Some selling for, there's $100 there, 110, 140. This is for a physical copy of Spec Ops: The Line for Xbox 360. Some of them have been for PS3, but most of the ones that, okay, there's a PS3 one for 130. And these are used copies of the game. Sorted lowest to highest, or highest to lowest. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so it's only showing price plus shipping. So I guess 150 from Hong. Oh, that's actually for 4 games. So Spec Ops alone, right now, the highest price is $140 plus $6.15 for shipping. And also you get $136.97 for the PS3 version. Looks like this person has 2 copies? No? 3? Even though I consider and say that may be just the same copy of the game. Yeah, so Spec Ops: The Line was taken offline. I was expecting to see the one fuck who put it for 500. Jeez. I bet you as soon as those other ones start moving. But yeah, so Spec Ops: The Line was taken offline. Also in TikTok news, today, if you were looking for, you know, if the Swifties were out there looking for their favorite era's track to listen to or to dance to, they couldn't. And thank Black History Month for that. But also black artists were promptly removed, like Drake, The Weeknd, what have you. Yeah. Media licenses can fucking just suck my dick from the back. There we go. I haven't used that in a while.
It's been 2 months.
I'm sorry?
It's been about 2 months.
Since I've used that phrase?
Yeah, maybe a little longer.
I feel like it's been longer than that. I may have said something equally egregious, but not that phrase specifically. So yeah, so Spec Ops: The Line was removed from Steam and other digital storefronts earlier this week, to the surprise of the game's director. What was his name? Corey Davis. He was the game designer and the game's designer and director Corey Davis, who wanted to know, hey, what happened to my game? Where is it? 2K, answer the questions. To where 2K finally came back and said Spec Ops: The Line will no longer be available on online storefronts, and several partnership licenses related to the game are expiring. Players who have purchased the game can still download and play the game uninterrupted. 2K would like to thank our community of players who have supported the game, and we look forward to bringing you more offerings from our label throughout this year and beyond. And of course, in TikTok's case, TikTok and Universal Music Group are in bitter negotiations for how they want to license music on the social media platform. Universal saying that TikTok is bullying them to take a lower price deal. To where Universal was like, no, fuck you. We'll just let the license expire, and then you ain't gonna have no music for your app. To which, that came to pass today. So since this article was initially to report on the news that Spec Ops: The Line, again, I am saying one of my favorite games, and one of the, what I feel like now, one of the most important games that exist ever, given what's happening right now and what certain apartheid countries are doing to a marginalized and oppressed group of people, using specific weapons that are made in another imperialist country. Also, touching on, folks in the military, like trying to be heroes and what that actually looks like to the people who live there. Or what happens, if you were fighting for way too long and how that could affect you mentally. Also, just kind of, taking a look at first-person shooters and how we feel when we play them. Because I'm going to tell you, after I played this game back in 2013, it changed some things. And then with TikTok, like without its music, I feel like these things kind of culminated into a thing where, like, I started feeling like with copyright, and while I see, like, I think I made an argument earlier about how, having copyright, especially when we talk about open AI and how it was taking copyrighted content to sit there and train its LLMs. Hey, that's copyrighted content. Stop doing that. That's actually hurting the artist. But here, I feel like it's hurting the artist because of the fact that there's big companies who are licensing music, but the money isn't really going to the artists who are under these labels. But because these companies have signed agreements for temporary amounts of time, then when those licenses expire, either you go the TikTok route where people are trying to get the best deal and it undercuts somebody, or in Spec Ops' case, nobody cares about an old game, so it disappears. And what does that do for game preservation? Like, if somebody wants to sit there and play this game in 2024, how the fuck are they going to do that?
Yeah.
Especially if they haven't owned it. To where, like, yeah, that's why I went to eBay yesterday when I was talking about it after the state of play, and was like, nobody can literally play this game unless they're willing to shell out almost $100 now.
Yeah.
And you're going to eBay, and I could barely trust eBay.
Barely. Yep.
And it sucks for creators, like for people like me who create content. It sucks for creators like Corey Davis, who created the fucking game, who nobody will be able to experience the game without, possibly going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks for those folks on TikTok who were using these songs to sit there and, create dances, show off whatever they were working on. Because again, like, a lot of betting tracks where people are sharing poetry, composing new songs, making dances, which again, like, there are a lot of uses for TikTok. But let's face it, looking at its original purpose of where, teeny boppers dancing to, popular song, now they can't anymore.
Yes, it was a dance app. It was like Musically. That's what TikTok was. Like, yeah, and then it just kind of like snowballed into what we know is now. But that's something that I'm very much on the side of, is like game preservation. Even bad games need to be preserved, because there is a cottage industry of people who play bad games, who go back and be like, yes, this is a bad game. It should be played. You should experience it. We should all experience it. And for you to lose out of it beyond like, beyond game preservation at its most, is the thing that kills it the most. Is also when you have these disputes that kind of delist games. Like, games become unavailable to play. And I remember more recently when that happened, when Roots Pacha that came out. I think we had talked about something to that effect, where the game just becomes delisted from Steam before people had the opportunity to like play it or to buy it. And they were like, I was gonna go buy it, but it's not on Steam anymore. Like, what happened? It's because Soda Pop, the developer, and Critivo, the publisher, had a bit of a falling out, and then Gaben was like, yo, let's just take it off until it settles. It's back on there now, but it was definitely a tense, few days and weeks when it's like, when is this game going to be back on the service? So yeah, that's kind of bad. That's kind of bad. So I'd like to, just as you say, unless you're willing to like buy a physical copy or be like, there once was a ship that put to sea in the name of the ship with the Billy of Tea. Unless you want to go the Billy of Tea route, the Wellerman. But sad state of affairs, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I feel for the fucking creators of, all around, because again, like, they're at the whim of these big companies, 2K and whoever they were licensing the music from for Spec Ops.
Yeah,
I feel for the creators on TikTok, because TikTok and UMG are having a beef.
Yeah,
And it's just it really fucking it sucks.
like,
And like, this is the ugly side. It's like, I feel conflicted, because again, just last week, arguing for copyright, where it's like OpenAI and Microsoft are stealing all of your blog posts to train an LLM because they say they need it,
right.
and they argue fair use. But when it comes to games, they get delisted because nobody gives a shit about old games, apparently.
Yeah.
Or in TikTok's case, if you were to hold your phone to a stereo and use the Taylor Swift song, all of a sudden you get a copyright strike because, oh no, we don't have the license for you to use this song. It's just,
Yeah. It sucks. It sucks, bro. Like, it really does. Like, just be like seeing corporations beef, and then consumers are the ones that have to pay the price for it. And the ones that really benefit after the beefing are like the people who buy, who are buying up all the Spec Ops line copies and trying to flip them on eBay. And it's a mess.
TikTok and UMG.
Yeah,
and I think like
both of
that's
them are making bank off of this.
And like the frustrating thing on this is, for the most part, the argument, between UMG and TikTok seems to be like, hey, you're using the music of all of these people. They're being used by the users on your platform to make a whole bunch of things. The user base on that platform, the people who watch it, are making you money. I feel like there's some kind of return that we should get. Now, ideally, which I'm pretty sure is not the case, that money should primarily be going back to the artists who make this music in the first place, because these people are making like a 1,000th% on like however many streams of this they're having. So like, they can't even rely on like that pure artistry to generate anything without them having to do a whole bunch of extra stuff around it. It's been that way for a pretty long time now, because the internet is the way that it is. But it sucks that the argument that we have isn't even a, how do we get more money into the hands of this artist? It's one of these.
Right. Whereas like
We have the ability to gatekeep basically what sound bites you get to use, and we're arguing over that to the tune of millions of dollars that the artists still don't get. Like, if you don't get out of here,
Right.
Right. I mean, it's a thing where like, yeah, I would have argued on behalf of UMG if I didn't know what the fuck UMG was.
Right.
It's like, you aren't paying your artists, so no, both of you are bad. Shut the fuck up. Let us have this fucking music because you aren't paying the artists enough to where it even fucking matters.
And then it's just like, you're just like, say, well, just take the game off. And then you're still not getting the money because you're like, because that song will not be played. And then that song is going to be distinctly tied to an action that is, that is directly tied to this incident. So you're not really getting it there. So now it's like there's a bad smell on it, tainted, and then people have no opportunity to play the games in which they want to play. And it's terrible. It's terrible for the artist. It's terrible for games preservation as a whole. It's terrible for TikTokers and people TikTokers and creators that want to use the song, and it's terrible for UMG because in the long run, because again, they never think about the short term. They always think about the short term. What can we do now? How can we make money now? And it's like, it's terrible for you in the long run because now this song is tied to you, and this is gonna be like the albatross around your neck, and this is gonna be forever the song that killed a game that everybody loves. And so that's on you, bro. Because again, never see the big picture until the big picture is like hitting you in the chest, Wing Chun style.
Dude,
like
I'm gonna need you to stop watching Leroy videos.
Never.
Because it's like the second time you reference this nigga.
So are you telling me to stop breathing? Because that's what you're telling me. On Black History Month? Stop.
Oh no, am I the villain?
No.
You might be.
Yes.
You might be.
I'm the shenanigans I didn't want.
Because never.
Oh,
she has a dog with a hoodie. I will never.
Oh dear.
I will never stop.
What have I become?
I will never stop quoting Leroy Smith.
What have I become?
You're like, I shall certainly not.
How dare I look past him?
Yeah. But see, that's the thing though. It's like it just utter sucks. Because y'all know I'm a big games preservation guy. I like to play the old games, the new games. I like to play games like I got my little game lad. So I've been playing like, Punch Out. I've been playing like OG Metal Gear, the first Metal Gear. Like, I've been enjoying.
Still fucking funny. You call it the game lad?
I call it the game lad. It's like, I'm sorry, the play lad. It's the play lad. It's not the Game Boy, it's the play lad. So, and I've been playing game, and I've been playing my games on it, and I'm having a good time with it. But but a lot of time there are a lot of these games that are probably not going to be on NSO. There are games that are just not going to be, remade, or going to have a PC version, or going to have like 5011 versions on 5011 different platforms and consoles. Then they're not going to get an HD refresh. Like Reloaded, like Persona 3 Reloaded is coming out tomorrow. That is a full, from the ground up remake, redo of Persona 3. And that's not gonna like, and then it's gonna be
guns and they were shooting themselves.
That's that. So they call it invokers, but yes. So
wait, what are these? Was this Persona 3?
It's Persona 3.
Oh, okay. I heard that and I'm just like, oh, this is Persona 3. Okay.
It's Persona 3.
The one game out of Japan I'm looking at, I don't know. Like, look, I've seen barely naked women that.
For a moment, before we get into too far into this, content warning, right? Because of things that you do in Persona 3 to activate your powers. involve you and a weapon in, let's just say, very close proximity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like in Japanese games, look, I let it slide.
Right.
In modern days,
Right.
look, you just
Right.
some of us let it slide. Look, they're what allegedly, according to them, are grown women,
Right. But
they don't look like grown women.
I say that to say this because we've jumped off topic. I say that to say this. There are oftentimes games don't necessarily get the ability to have remakes.
Yeah.
Or to have HD reboots. Or whatever. Ishin came out, and Ishin was basically a PS3 or PS3 game that came out in PS3 in Japan that never even seen America. And then they remade that and put it out there. We've had 2, 3, like Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remade, and a possible Resident Evil 5 remake. So we're gonna see we're gonna be able to see Chris Redfield, punching a boulder in glorious HD. But I digress. But yes, some games don't necessarily get the remakes that they get. Some games are going to come out and they're just going to come out. So, games preservation is important for the games that are still out there knocking around, and people can't afford $300 and $400 to play it on some people can't afford to play the OG Chrono Trigger on the SNES, or they can't afford to play some GameCube games or Wii U games. So game preservation is important. Period.
Yeah, that's why I'm taking it upon myself as somebody who was not asked to do this, but just want to do it anyway, because I have not played this on any stream. I actually am playing. I'm planning on this month to play Spec Ops: The Line, for it to not have it, because nobody can play it. I would like to say, hey, at least there will be videos. I am going to contribute to the zeitgeist, my streams and YouTube archives, to say, hey, here are playthroughs of this game.
I do want to, this would be,
but there are playthroughs of this. Here is my contribution, my playthrough of this game, because I still feel like it is very important given the topics that game covers.
Right.
Like I've looked at old reviews for it, right? And they're like it touches the story is great, like the topics it touches, it's great, and even for 2024, it's pertinent. But all the gameplay is still uninspired. I feel I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm here for that story, and bro, you have not played this game.
I think it would be important to point out here, because I certainly would be remiss if I didn't point it out, that the Black Games Archive exists. So since we were talking about Black Excellence this month, right? If you are looking for people who are trying to keep an archive of some of these things, at least, here we are. That is a thing that you can go ahead and dig into at your leisure.
Yay! I love
Beatrix,
Beatrix,
right? Or these are games that are made by Black devs or that have Black people in it. What is the criteria for this?
Well, I'm pretty sure they have a thing on there, but
this looks like Black representation, that has Black representation in it.
Okay.
I think that's ultimately is what's happening. If there's Black people in the game, if there's Black representation in the game, if Black people made the games, they're in here.
Yeah, because I seen Sunset Overdrive, and I was like, what? I was like, oh yeah, this is Black. That's Black representation.
So technically, we can get Spec Ops: The Line in here.
Yeah.
Well, the NBA 2K, the franchise.
Second that too. Shout out to both Slime Ranchers. So good. Bellatrix. Beatrix.
Subnautica Below Zero?
Yes.
Oh shit,
yes. Yeah. I would have liked to run that back, but I am super utterly scared of everything that's in that game. So I'm I haven't run it back yet.
Taxonomy, development, playable Black characters, voice acting, motion capture.
Yeah, I felt so bad. Deb was like, "Hey, would you like to play?" Like somebody basically said like does anybody do you know any content creators that can play our game? And they were like somebody mentioned me. I said, "Hey, would you like to play our game? Here's our key." And I was like, yeah, I guess I could try it. And it ran. And it ran a
Ruin
whole
said,
yeah.
Ruin said, is Project Zomboid in there? It is not.
It is
And
not.
to that, I would say, here you are. So, this is a link that if you're just like, hey, this is really cool, I think there are some games that you might want to add to the archive. They do have a form at the bottom where you can go, hey,
Mm-hmm.
can you add that to the archive real quick?
I mean, why wouldn't it though? Project.
Anything? I don't know enough about Project Zomboid
Yeah,
to know that, but basically speaking, if it's games characters or developers who are identify as black or are related to black culture, there you go.
I might want to try that game. It looks good. It's got multiplayer action in it.
It's $20 on Steam.
I typically wait till it's about 13 to check it out.
But yeah, since we're talking about games preservation and stuff, I was just kind of like, oh, you know something? Actually, I might have a thing for you. So there you go. That is our contribution of Black excellence to all of you lovely people today.
Yeah, it was very apropos. Did I use that
I
word
appreciate
correctly?
that.
Yeah, I might wait, Unreal 2?
I feel
Playable
like
black characters.
at some point, I'm going to probably need to scream about this, so I wouldn't be surprised if y'all see this coming up on, and this is your reminder that this exists, DCAnalyst.net, because I wanted to say this about some stuff at the DGAs, and that'll probably make its way into that article, but like, what exhausts me, this was one of Major's favorite games. He played this for so long, and it was a wonderful time. It's still a wonderful time whenever he does. It is so exhausting to me to see games like Spec Ops be delisted for talking about real things at a time when things are regularly made in games, because it's like, and when people go, hey, you have some critiques here about the way that y'all are handling these situations, people go, well, video games are a really good way for people to like think about or wrap their mind around real world situations and figure out how they would want to handle them or how they would want to have these conversations IRL with people. And then when you put in a game that has a IRL situation happening, even though the game is 10 something years old, like something like that, which should probably tell you a lot by itself right there as an indictment, the first thing y'all do is delist it. Meanwhile, Detroit Become Human still exists. Meanwhile, no tea and no shade to my co-host here, because they have an upcoming review about this game. Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here stewing in my very intense feelings about Pal World at the moment.
Wait, we're getting a review for Power World?
I think at some point, because y'all are playing it, y'all are going to have something to say about that, aren't you?
Oh, I'm looking down at Kev now.
I will. As somebody
He wrote a hands-on for it.
Yeah, I wrote a hands-on early days impressions about it. I thought it was good.
So, like, the first thing that came up was I found out this, like, kind of like, okay, it's Pokemon with guns, cool, except that you can catch people. Okay.
I heard that, but it's still like, from what I saw, you could exploit the things you are catching, just period.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
but
that is an experience for someone else. Definitely not me, but it's one of those, you do this in a game and you're just like, no, this is fine. But then you have a game that's kind of like, hey, there's this that we wanted to explore in a game, and you're just like, has to be delisted immediately. It's one of those, you only want to use the argument that these things allow you to safely engage with real world issues until you actually have to deal with.
Okay, so Pulse is also pointing out, and I thought I made that clear too, at least in this article I did. I'm not sure if I said it here. It is not being delisted because of what is happening. It is being delisted for media licenses, so like the audio in the game. Like
Yeah.
this article,
is that-
article explained, like that's why I put Spec Ops and TikTok together, because they're
Yes.
both a victim of media licenses expiring.
Yeah.
I guess this is, well, for that, if we're talking about that, although like the parts of the article that I read, not from you, but from other places, are just like, yeah, there was this mention of this game that mentions things like things that are happening in the real world got delisted from these platforms.
Yeah, because again, like that was a part of the story. I don't think that was a reason why I got delisted.
I feel like that should probably have been mentioned by like sources X or Y, not you, because obviously not you.
Yeah, like,
but
like the source I got it from, The Verge. The Verge did mention that
it's
that it does contain music like Jimi Hendrix's version of the Star Spangled Banner,
Banner, yeah.
which is what
Which-
I also put in my article. I was not familiar with Nowhere, the Vandellas Nowhere to Run, even though I might be. I don't know. Again, I have played this game and they probably do use like music from the 70s, like trying to tie it to Vietnam. Because again, Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner was around that time, just a little bit, maybe a little bit before then. I don't remember when Woodstock was. I think it was 69, so that was before the Vietnam War. Wow. Look at me pulling dates out of the air like that. But yeah, I feel like it was tied to the music. It just unfortunately happens to be around the same time there is a conflict in which the things used in this game are also being used in real life.
So there's that. There's also, I feel like if Monster Prom can do this, I don't know why they didn't. So like, is this a decision by the company or the developers of Spec Ops to be like, nah, we're not going to replace that music. Never mind, forget it.
It was a decision by 2K, because remember, the director of the game was surprised it was removed. 2K requested the game be removed.
Mm-hmm.
That's bothersome. But
That is bothersome,
okay,
and I think somebody else mentioned it earlier, where this could be a situation. And again, this is why game preservation is a thing. And honestly, I feel like everybody should open source their code after a certain point, but they won't. Only id will do that, maybe. But why I think people should open source their code is the fact that there's no telling where the source code for this game went.
Yeah.
Wait, what spoilers? What did I say? Again, if you're talking about the things that they use in the game, I have not said that. I'm be careful, even though it's in this article, it is mentioned. In this article, it is mentioned because I do want to, because again, I'm always going to point to that conflict and say, hey, we should stop this. But here I won't mention it. Oh my God, Post, what are you doing? But yeah, I think like it coincidentally it happened at the same time. But yeah, 2K was the one who requested it because I guess the source code may be missing and nobody can go in and replace the sound files, or it may not have the same gravitas as it would if we put licensed music in place.
Other thing, like I played Monster Prom, right? Monster Prom has a thing where when they first played the game, it was just kind of like music that was made for the game. Then they did hey, we put a option in this game so that if you're concerned about getting in trouble, or if you want to be like, hey, we use licensed music for this game, but if you want to hear the version of the music that we chose for this game that isn't licensed, you can also do that.
I mean, there was also a meme that was created at the time of Life is Strange, the latest Life is Strange.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Where there's an option to turn off the licensed music
Which,
to where the main character and somebody else is air guitaring to nothing.
to nothing.
And all you can hear just like footsteps, and you can hear the character just jumping around and doing this, but you hear no music. And it's like, yeah, this is.
Yes,
This
there's
is
something
odd.
very black. There's something very black about that.
Yeah, because at most I was thinking like they
No
would just-
music.
yeah, they would just switch it out. I thought they might switch it out with more like
Just
different types
weird,
of tracks.
just weird background music, just for something from NCS or something. But no,
Yeah,
no,
That's fine,
the music was
'cause
just
honestly-
gone.
yeah, because there's plenty of like good NCS movie music you could just like
Look, we're
use
listening to
instead
it
of that.
now. Well, I am, but hey, if you're watching this show or listening to it later, you are hearing NCS music.
So
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really fucking weird. It's like, I feel like if the music is in the game, then it should just be there. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is where, again, the copyright laws are used to the detriment of society, because now we lose out on games due to copyrighted music. Like, this isn't a, oh, I can't play I can't play game on Twitch or on YouTube because I'll get a copyright strike. This is a game no longer exists because of copyright. And I'm like, damn.
They tried to stick me for my papers.
But yeah, this fucking sucks. I don't know, cause like it's like I hope Spec Ops will come back, but it won't. Like at this point, it's like, do we create a new Spec Ops the line? Do we remaster it and just exclude the songs? But it's like it won't be the same as the old one. And boy, if they do that and then do the whole thing of, oh, it's gonna be upgraded in place for people who own it, and you replace my old one from 2012. Oh, fuck you. We are not going to do a Resident Evil here. You are not going to replace my old game with the new one.
Feel exactly, Major. I was not sure.
But yeah, I'm sorry about Spec Ops, the team out at Jaeger. Like, this fucking sucks. 2K can, like, again. Oh, Sin, I think this is the one you were thinking of that I said probably a couple months ago. 2K can suck a big bag of dicks. Shut up, Merch. Shut up. No. And 2K and UMG, yeah, fuck them. Just fuck them.
let me look. Let me see.
No, Spec Ops is not anywhere. Because, like, yeah, Wario tweeted said it's still available everywhere else, and there were links to it, and it's like, no, they're gone.
Wow.
The game is gone, like, just GONE gone.
Wow.
Like, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I went to eBay. Like, I know this game is not anywhere that people can buy it in a current fashion. You have to go buy a 360 or a PS3 disc in order to play this game.
Don't say that too loud, Pulse.
Anywho, all right. Let's move on to some more game news. And of course, game news here is who is no longer being embraced. First off, Embrace has let go half of Black Forest Games staff. And this is how convoluted this is getting with Embracer. Because boy, they have really they've put a distance between them and all of this. Black Forest Games, a subsidiary of THQ Nordic, who is owned by the Embracer Group. There are 3 levels to this. Announced that layoffs are coming. Black Forest Games is known for developing the Destroy All Humans remakes, Black Force is also making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. This one is inspired by the Last Ronin line of comics. Kotaku broke the news Thursday. Black Force is having to say goodbye to 50% of their workforce, which was at 110 employees last year. Speaking with sources familiar with the matter, Kotaku reports that while the managers are safe, the labor force is taking a hit. Ruin Embracer bought all these studios and then fumbled the bag when trying to deal with the Saudis.
Do you remember when we, like, just for everybody who's like watching again at home, we had like this whole thing last year where we were, I know that I for sure was, and that I'm pretty sure that Kevin and Major were on the same page about, I don't know how I feel about the fact that Embracer just decided to buy all these.
Yeah, like the joke was they're being embraced. And for what?
And we were just like, we don't know about this. And now we're here. And I hate it. I hate every bit of it.
In more Embracer news, Reikon Games, developers of Ruiner, were hit with layoffs. Reikon, the developer that brought you isometric shooter Ruiner, announced Friday they are going to cut 60 to 70 people. Kotaku reports that this is nearly 80% of its staff. This news was corroborated by many social media posts from former developers at the studio. Okay. Excuse me. Back in 2021, Reikon announced that they were working on a new game under the codename Final Form. This game was going to be published under Plion's Prime Matter label. And would you look at who else is involved? It seems Plion is owned by none other than the Embracer Group.
There's a part of me that spends so much time thinking, right? If this is what y'all are going to do with companies that are doing relatively well on their own and did not ask you to be involved in this way, leave them alone. If you're not going to improve situations, leave people alone.
You know, I should toss in another one because I feel like it needs to be talked about too, and I forgot because we did not do a show last week. But we did talk about it during our playthrough of Warhammer, but I might still reiterate that for the show purposes so that people on the podcast side of things can hear it. Embracer strikes again, fired 100 people and canceled a Deus Ex game. Eidos Montreal, the studio behind Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and Deus Ex Mankind Divided, announced on Monday that 97 people have lost their jobs. The news was confirmed by the development studio on Twitter after Bloomberg reported about a canceled Deus Ex game.
I just want to add as an aside, I'm about tired of hearing about how people are finding out that this is happening to them via Twitter and other social media platforms.
Yeah, the fact that they're hearing about it as we're hearing about it, you know, makes me want to kick somebody in the chest.
I don't think that the people got laid all found out through Twitter.
Oh, I'm not talking about these. I'm not talking about these
but
people.
Yeah,
I was just saying.
I'm not specifically talking about.
I just want to make sure. I'm
talking about.
But yeah, I know
people.
what you're talking. Yeah, I know. Oh, us?
Yes.
Oh, they were never going to tell us to begin with.
No. I'm not talking about these. I'm not talking about these particular devs. I'm talking about there are devs that find out.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you mean the Donald Trump? Oh, you mean the Donald Trump version of HR?
Yeah.
Where people get fired like on the way to the plane from a meeting they were in.
Yeah. Like they go into, like, the Donald Trump one is they get into the plane, they're hired. Before they land, they're fired. And they don't just like, okay, who do I talk to? Now I got to get another flight back.
Wait, who? And wasn't there a college coach who got fired after a game, and they wouldn't allow him back on the bus? They wouldn't let him on the bus to go back to the school.
Brazy.
I cannot.
Oh, good. Let me see if I can find that.
But yeah, that was just like a general aside about how people find out about these things on occasion, not this specific group of people. Just to
Right.
be clear about that.
I mean, I didn't make for that to be a aside. We can continue going what we were going on, but yeah, that's about to be a whole
Oh, it was in
rabbit hole.
2013. Oh, of course, I went to the New York Times, which is never gonna let me see it.
Yeah.
Sure it is, but you have to know the right address to type. I can't remember what it is
Fired
offhand,
at an
but I know that
airport
people
in
have probably done that.
2011.
It's just I sit here and I think about these. Like, I guess it's just part of the economy we're in, and there's like, I have feelings about that, but also like, child, I'm tired. So the whole there are these people who are doing a thing. They're very passionate about the thing they come to, and they're just like, hey, we would like more resources to do the things that we're enjoying and that we're exploring and all this other stuff. There's clearly a market for it. These companies go and they acquire these people or the assets or the resources, and they're just like, okay, sure, we'll lend you some of these. And then in a whole year, if they haven't made like $5 million a day since like the first day that they acquired them, they're just like, I don't know what to tell y'all. And it's just like, what is wrong with you? Although I can't necessarily say that I'm super surprised by that, given that the last 10 years have been particularly egregious. Not that it's been just the last 10 years, but the last 10 years have been particularly egregious about people being like, we're just trying to find, like, we're just trying to like get whatever the maximum amount of profit there is and then get out. And if that means we have to fold this entire company up and send everybody home, then we don't care. Like, whether it's before Thanksgiving, Christmas or not, whether you're facing evictions or not or anything else. And it's just one of those things of being like, how long do you think it's going to take before these people end up at your, like, finding you in a side alley or during your brunches?
And the thing is, so like with that, like we look at Microsoft, and yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up. Oops, no, that's gonna take me to the back end. Don't take me there.
Yeah, y'all don't need to see that.
Mm-mm.
If you saw it, no, you didn't. Mind your business.
Actually, hold on. I'll pull that up. There's nothing in that article, but I want to use that as a jumping off point for something else. There you go. Yeah, Microsoft sheds 2,000 employees from Activision, Xbox, and ZeniMax. That's 8%. So yeah, 1,900 employees were cut from Activision, Blizzard, and Xbox. Most of them were coming from ABK. Some people at Xbox and some people at ZeniMax were also affected. It is impressive to hear that only, like 1,900 people is only 8% of their staff at that company. But even then, it's like, this is why I don't like using percent, and I hate that people are like, oh yeah, like come and say, yes, we had to let go 8% of our workforce. How many people? Give me an exact number, please, because using a percentage, you know that doesn't resonate with people. Like you're talking about like 1% of people would die from COVID. So 1% of 300 million is? Oh, 3 million? That's still a lot.
Yep. Like here, everybody just like come in close, lean into the thing that I am about to say. Ask more questions when people give you data like that, because when people like do things that are meant to basically minimize situations by using things like this percentage of this, like doing things like percentages, fractions, timelines, or any of those things. When you run into any of that stuff, this is where you start asking questions. Because it's kind of like, oh, this is only 2% of people. Okay, well, how much is 2%? That is still 30,000 people. That's still 60,000 people. Like, there's not, and mind you, those are the people who work there. That has nothing to do with like the families and the communities that rely on them. So that's a whole problem, right? So maybe we don't do that. Oh no.
Yeah, I have not. So, SJ, just know that that is on my list of things to write, but have not gotten to it yet.
Like we had to, or like the other, and I guess that's, something Merge makes a very good point. Also, terms that talk about very real humans as extractions. We had to fire this many of our staff. We had to let these resources go. Anything that makes these things not people and therefore not personal and therefore something that you can afford not to experience emotions about, because otherwise you would probably drag their ass. Like, be aware of that stuff.
Oh, you mean also from games like Human Resource Machine? Also, wait, yeah, a department of the company actually called Human Resources.
But also, like, but also SJ is kind of pointing out another thing that we've mentioned at least once per episode at this point since the beginning of the year, which is my infinite exhaustion with these companies doing, well, we didn't feel like this was going to be sustainable. We overhired during like the pandemic or whatever, as if it ended, but I digress, or any of that. Saying all of these things and then also being like, but we're having like we had a record year of profit. We're about to drop like a whole bunch of things that are guaranteed to make us a lot of money and whatever. And also friendly reminder, because we're here, it's tax season. Like, just the amount of like absolute fuckery around this time of the year. And just layoffs in general by companies who, and I cannot emphasize this enough, would never need to, because they probably have like more than enough money to just pay people and do stuff, but they want to have the most money that they could have. They're firing people over imaginary money.
Sin, you are not thinking of the shareholders. How dare you?
You want to know what these shares can hold? You know what? Let me not.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you not think of these shareholders, Sid? They could barely afford the 7th Maserati.
Oh.
Are you depriving them of cars and houses and yachts and government officials just so you can have benefits and salaries?
I am not. You mean the salaries that still require me to take a second job to fully pay my bills in the case of many people?
Right, there goes the beach and the mountain homes for these shareholders. You're being entirely too greedy.
The things that I want to say are things that I cannot say on twitch.tv because although they will not enforce them, I did read their moderation policies.
Yeah.
Do you know where you can write those opinions, Sid?
DCAanalyst.net.
You know something? DCAanalyst.net. I see you there, and I appreciate the midstream commercial. An actual valuable one at that. I want to add here while we're thinking about this, and mind you, for everyone at home, Major Kevin and I end up laughing at things a lot because the other option is rage. And we only have so many hours and so much energy in the day for that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
it's still rage. It's still rage here. Yeah.
Like the rage is in the background, but joy is in the upfront.
You know that Doom theme song that plays?
Mm-hmm.
It's just constantly just playing in my head. Even when I'm listening to other music, it's always the Doom soundtrack.
It's that level of my I find where the dopamine is, and I know what it is, because if rage is all I know, then rage is all I feel. And I ain't gonna be like Angron with like the butcher's nails in my head. This is 40K stuff. And where all I feel is nothing but rage. All I can ever feel is something. Because that's counterproductive.
Don't make me pull up the James Baldwin quote.
Yeah, I know, but
It
it's
was his
just that
birthday recently.
yeah. So my thing is I stand with joy in one hand and rage in the other, and my attention is focused on joy while the other hand is holding up the rage and the reasons why. I am walking and chewing bubblegum at the same time.
And it is a very difficult thing.
It's a very
Low
fearful
key.
thing, but it's a difficult thing, but it's a thing we must do.
Yep, it's
Other-
necessary.
It's necessary, because if it's not, we forget. All we know is rage. All we feel is rage. To be angry and to be angry and say, yeah, fuck that and fuck you, exactly. But to live in that, I can't do it. I can't live in soul rage, because that's not detrimental. That's detrimental to me. And so all I'm gonna say is, I'm going to hold up this sign and says, "You're fucking up," and pointing to that person, and then I'm back to my joke, and I'm back to thirst traps, babies doing awesome things, and informative videos about anime. Oh yeah, and my Gundam rewatch. We have finished War in the Pocket, and we're now on Thunderbolt. I need time to get myself right for Thunderbolt, because Thunderbolt is a ride.
P.S. At some point, we're gonna have to have Kevin talk about that, because that used to be a segment on this show, and I feel like we need to revisit that at some point now that you finished watching a few series.
Hey, I wouldn't mind having a distinct conversation about War in the Pocket.
Because I believe that was a request from Ruin
Right.
themselves on that.
Especially about the fact that why is there a character named Garcia, and why does he have a knife? Why? Japan, answer for your crimes, literally.
But it's like back to like companies and like all of these nonsense and the shenanigans around shareholder value and all this other stuff, and like the imaginary money that's happening. Like, mind you, I wanted to be reminded that the people who are doing these layoffs for the most part are people who, if they had a briefcase, I had to explain this to somebody, and I will probably be using this analogy a lot. If they had a briefcase and the briefcase had $1 million in it, it wouldn't be worth their time to turn around and pick that up. These people are the people who are just like, but we didn't have any other choice here. P.S. But for the rest of you who are here, can you please train this AI? For no particular reason.
What really gets me with a lot of this stuff too, especially when companies say, "Oh, we overstaffed during the pandemic," it's
And
like,
whose fault is that? Sounds like
it's
you
one,
problem.
that specifically, but it's another side thing too, where it's like you probably entice so many people from comfortable jobs with more money to come work for you, and then you let them go. Whereas like they probably were comfortable and probably would still have jobs today if they stayed.
Mm-hmm.
But you caused a ripple effect because you did a brain drain from a whole bunch of other companies, which then had them have to do it, and just started perpetuating a cycle until everybody is now having to let go of people.
And what does that do? And what does that do for? Innovation? Well, yeah. What does that do for morale? What does that do for innovation?
I mean, innovation. I mean, let's look at all the social media apps and how they're all doing exactly the same fucking thing.
Yeah, because who's gonna create the next Power Bop or the next awesome game when you're like, I just want to keep my head down and hope that I have a job at the end of that. So then it's like you're making fucking like live service games, and you're sitting there hoping for the best.
Maybe they were thinking that if it was a live service game, because it will be online in perpetuity, they still have a job because they gotta maintain it.
Yeah,
That's
they gotta
not how
maintain
the
it.
software development cycle works, though.
Yeah,
Because you want to know what? Y'all said that, and it made me immediately think about Riot.
Yeah, because then they can just outsource for that. They could just be like, we're still firing you,
Well, I mean,
but we
like,
just didn't pay to outsource it.
I mean, well, yeah, like the software development cycles, you bring in people to develop the game, and then you bring in another group of people to maintain it.
Right. I mean, so that, like I say, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. But then you're like letting go your core staff. The people whose whole deal is Borderlands. Who's like, I mean, I'm down to Borderlands.
If this was just a gaming industry, like, one, it still looks bad even if you just isolate the gaming industry and not just tech in general, because there are so many layoffs happening with the gaming industry, even though we can all point to one company who's doing it all. Sorry. Rip and Tear is playing through my head. For those who may have heard us mention the Doom soundtrack, thanks to Pulse, I now know what song it is. It is Rip and Tear from the 2016 Doom soundtrack, or from the 2016 Doom game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like if it was like an average year, like, I get the layoffs. It is unfortunate, but I kind of get it because that's how development cycles work. I don't think people who aren't in software development or computer scientists or just people who code don't know this. It is a regular thing where, yeah, like, you hire people, you staff up to develop, and then when it's done, you have people that will maintain it. The original developers really don't stick around unless there's another project.
Yeah, it's generally like your course. It's generally your course staff.
Yeah. So, like,
yeah,
it's one thing if it was that, but this isn't what this is, because countless developers who've worked at companies for years, again, like I kept saying, the core development staff, where they will finish one project, they move to another one. Yeah. That's not happening anymore.
No.
And now it's kind of going into, just the tech sector in general, where everybody's just getting laid off. Whether it is their engineers, whether it is, and for a lot of these companies too, it's a lot of administrative people. Like, granted, Google has laid off their engineering teams, but a lot of people have been letting go, like ad sale people, marketing people. And we all know why they're doing that, right? It's the AI. Who can sell better than AI? Everything's just automated now. But yeah. So yeah, ABK letting go 1,900 people, of course, most of them from Activision Blizzard, which, again, we're talking about acquisitions. How is it that you bring in this big company, spend all that money, and then you cut out almost 2,000 people? What was the reason? Why bring them in, string them along for 3 months, and it's like, yeah, we don't need you?
I want to talk about that in the context of also seeing people like, God, what's his name? Tim Gunther or something like that. The Australian CEO dude.
Oh, that dude.
Oh, that.
All of that, right? All of this stuff that we're saying, for me, always exists in the context of that man. Not because of him specifically, but because of him and Elon and people like him that mostly think that way, which, for everybody's refresher for this year, is the guy who went on record saying we need to see unemployment soar up to somewhere between 40 and 50%, because employees were feeling like they were the gift, the prize, the true value to the company, and not the CEOs, and they needed to be put in their place.
Well, I love how MSNBC says, watch this multimillionaire CEO say the quiet part out loud. But yeah, so the real estate CEO, Tim Gurner, suggested Australian unemployment needed to jump by as much as 50%. Gurner also complained about the tradies, workers who practice a trade like electricians, plumbers, and carpenters, and claimed they had pulled back on productivity.
Do you need a link to that, by the way?
I mean, there's MSNBC here. Here we go. So speaking out, I'll show you Financial Review's Property Summit, the property developer and CEO, net worth of 584 million complaint. Thanks, MSNBC. Well, actually, no, it's relevant. Complained that the country's 3.7% unemployment rate was in fact a problem. Quote, we need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50%, said Gunther, because arrogant workers aren't productive enough for his liking. Quote, we need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. MSNBC goes on to say, for these words, we should thank Garner not because his theory that low unemployment and the shift to work from home have hurt productivity is accurate. Australia's recent dip in productivity started in mid-2022. Well, after workers were initially sent home and unemployment recovered from its initial pandemic-induced increase, Garner admitted his remarks were wrong in a subsequent apology. No, we should thank him for saying the quiet part out loud, badly stating that the uber wealthy think of you and me. Or stating what the uber wealthy think of you and me.
And like that, it's the fact that this attitude exists. So when I see layoffs and things, I also see it in the context of people exist. People are starting to ask for more things and demand more things. There are strikes across industries and across the country. There are like protests for like just simple things like people being able to live indoors and have access to clean running water and like not have to live in impoverished conditions. And, you know, most notably being like, hey, people just should be able to live in such a way that bombs are not being dropped on them every day. That would also be nice, right? You got all of this going on, and it is in this context with all of that going on that you also have, you know, our employment wasn't really a sustainable model, and we had to figure out what to do to make sure that the company could survive or what have you. Again, cue rip and tear in the background. Actually, for me, it's actually, if you want to know what my rage music is in the background, it's Distortion by Baby Metal.
You need to send me a link to that. Let's see. According to billionaire Sam Zell, the 1% work harder. The 1% are much bigger factors in all forms of our society. According to Pew Research Center, a majority of the wealthiest Americans believe the, quote, poor have it easy because they can get government benefits without doing anything in return. Now I know I can't see, but I need it for dramatic effect to pull my glasses off for a second. I have never, ever in my life wanted to curb stomp a human being's face into the fucking pavement as much as I do now. Like, I know people don't like to talk about revolution, but as your local friendly neighborhood communist, I cannot fucking wait. I cannot wait. Oh God, I can't wait. Okay, I'm sorry. What happened? I blacked out for a second. What are you doing?
Rip and tear.
Please stop.
I'm
looking
sorry,
up
like
the
while I
song
was
for you.
out, that's all I heard for a second. Oh, okay. Before we go over into Twitch's enhanced broadcast, I do want to mention, hey, PlayStation had a state of play. There's a video that's uploaded to YouTube, but it's not public yet because your boy had things to do today. So let's see. I'm gonna go find some information for that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what I want to see. That baby just sticking out of somebody's throat again.
Lord, that damn baby.
That damn baby. So let's see. Helldivers 2 got a launch trailer for its February 8th release. Stellar Blade looks stellar. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't help but to show the ass of that woman every time they get a chance. And the physics were physicsing. That's a difficult one to cavify.
The physics were physical. That's what the physics were physicsing. Yeah, that's a little difficult for you to make.
It's difficult. But yeah, things were moving. Things were moving. Whether it was accurate fluid simulation, I don't know. I can't say. But just know that, hey, things coming out of Japan and the East, they do those things. Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, Sonic and Shadow Generations got a brand new, or I guess got announced.
Yes.
And it also includes a remake of Sonic Generations. Zenless Zone Zero is coming to PS5.
Which I felt like it would, because
that's where all the Hoyoverse games go.
Yeah, all the Hoyoverse games go on the PlayStation. So yeah,
I mean, it'd be nice if they came to Steam and or Xbox, but it's whatever.
It'd be great. Yeah.
Foam Stars, the Splatoon clone, but with soap and not paint.
Yes.
Got a launch trailer ahead of its February 6th date, which also will be available on PlayStation Plus on launch. Dave the Diver is coming to PS5 and is getting a Godzilla expansion. V Rising is coming to PS5. Which I thought Silent Hills, a short message, has that PT energy.
Yes.
That was a surprise drop for PS5 fans. Also kind of harkens back to, hey, this is what social media is doing to young teenage girls. But what if that was a horror game? Not like teenage girls don't have to deal with that already, but hey, let's make a game about it.
Wait, what game was this?
Silent Hill, the short message.
Okay.
If you look at the trailer for that, it is like, yeah, definitely this girl is being cyberbullied or just bullied in general. But also, hey, what if we put scary monsters in there? And even at the beginning of the trailer, they were like, hey, this trailer might, show people harming themselves. And it did not go the direction I thought it was going to go.
Did you remember? This reminds me of the time that they tried to make that Gamer Girl game.
I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that it didn't happen, but...
No, I'm just saying, if you don't remember, it came out around the time, like it was one of those things that happened in the general vein of when Cyberpunk came out. They were advertising for this game, and it was a game of basically like, hi, you are a moderator for a lady streamer who has a stalker. So you can only imagine. Child, I don't know. It's one of these things like these people. These people need to play where it's safe. That's all I gotta say about that.
Speaking of Silent Hill 2 is it got a brand new trailer, still no release date. Judas, the new game from the BioShock creator, looks like BioShock. Literally, if the name Judas never showed up on the screen, you would have just thought it was a new BioShock.
Yep, that's what I thought. That's what I thought when I saw it.
Metro Awakening, they're bringing Metro to VR.
Yeah.
Legendary Tales looked like a terrible Oculus Quest 1 VR game. But it's coming out next week. Dragon's Dogma 2 got a new gameplay trailer.
Here are a lot of people excited for that one.
It did not show great, but I think it was as I think Post pointed out to me, it could have just been Twitch.
Yeah.
Rise of the Ronin had a gameplay walkthrough, which I believe, as Pulse and I pointed out, looks like Assassin's Creed in Japan, which everybody wants, but it's not gotten. Until Dawn is being rebuilt for the PS5 and is coming to PC, which surprisingly this article doesn't mention.
Which is really cool because I've seen a lot of people play that game, and like the original Until Dawn ran like absolute, but like, I mean,
you only
terribly.
died because of the lag.
Yeah, sometimes it was like I couldn't see the button prompts because it was so bad.
That I don't know. I am joking, but yeah, I would not put it past it.
Yeah.
And okay, so two things I do want to show. Well, one more thing before I go to this one. Hideo Kojima is creating a new action espionage game that is not called Metal Gear. Do not ask him about Metal Gear. I assure you, Hideo Kojima is not thinking about Metal Gear. No, he is not. Do not believe the hype. Hideo Kojima is not thinking about Metal Gear.
And it's going to be named Hard Worm.
Wait, what?
Firm Serpent. That's what it's going to be. He's going to be named.
Oh, the character.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the game. I was like, wait a second, that's not a synonym of Metal Gear.
It's gonna be Ally Sprocket Firm.
Stop
Alloy
Alloy sockets.
Alloy Socket Firm.
But also Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is getting a dedicated state of play next week. So
Yep.
join me next week where I might cover that. So, okay, here we are. Has everybody seen this trailer?
No, not the one to.
Dude,
Trailer for what?
I'm sorry, man. You need to. Are you trying not to get spoiled or what? Or you just don't care?
Spoiled? There ain't no damn story in this game.
Sir. Okay, well, fine. Look, okay. If you don't believe that, then fine. I will say, Steel, you need to watch this fucking trailer, dog.
No.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna play the visuals, not the audio behind, because again, it is what happens in this trailer. It is like, what the fuck is even happening? Oh wait, hold on. The audio is playing through my speakers. There are things in this. Tenchu is the only Assassin's Creed in Japan I recognize. So yeah, stop me if you see anything weird happening in this game. I'm just
Stop.
What would you like to discuss?
None of this. It's like as soon as I seen the hands over her mouth, I was
okay,
like,
yeah.
no.
See, that's why I was waiting for you to point that part out.
And then I seen the cat licking up the oil with wings. So I guess this is also the part where they don't breathe because they're dealing with corpses.
That's what so one, she has her hands she's got her mouth covered with the hands. Also, just look at where the hands are. I just want to point that out to you. But he does it, so I'm wondering why she does it, or why her face is covered.
And is that supposed to be quiet?
Not quiet. That's fragile.
Oh, that's right, fragile. Yeah.
That's Lisa Sado.
I'm getting my Kojima's
Female lead.
games mixed up.
You mean the female lead?
Yeah, I'm getting my female leads mixed up.
But yeah, see where those hands are, and it's like, yeah, okay, so they're not real hands, but oh no, she got squirted and it's affecting her aging again. Okay, of course, here's your infamous baby. Again, Hideo. Also, I'm mad that baby is cross-eyed when I froze that image. That's kind of funny.
Why did he cough up a Metal Gear?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, this man is definitely thinking about Metal Gear.
Jesus, little Christ.
This man is still thinking about Metal Gear. When I saw that, I said, that is clearly the head of Metal Gear Rex. You cannot tell me otherwise.
I'm waiting for it to go. The Metal Gear.
I was so mad at this. Like, this man is still obsessing over that shit.
No.
But yes, again, tell me if you see weird things on a screen.
Why is he blue double D double die?
We don't know. I assume that they might be dead in so much like they're like passing through like whatever Cairo network or whatever. So for those who don't know, the beach which they refer to in these games, like that's death.
Yeah, it's like the afterlife. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that they're like crossing in the beach and they're technically dead because you'll see when they breathe that you'll see their breath, which means like they may be like super fucking cold.
Right.
But yes,
Right.
they are blue.
Double D double die.
Everything else has color except for these two people right now. Also, you can still see those hands. You can get those hands. I wonder if somebody gets really close to her. Does she smack them with the hands?
That would be nice. This is.
All right, skipping on a little bit. As you see, they now have color. But again, tell me if you see something weird.
Huh? Why is that an Otacon puppet?
But also look at the frame rate at which this puppet moves compared to everything else. Everybody's on that Spider-Verse kick.
It's a claymation puppet.
Also, like, because you didn't hear the audio, the puppet complained about being put in the back and said he wanted to ride shotgun. I think that may have been a nod to God of War.
Yeah, because
That's Heimdall.
Yeah, Heimdall was like on Kratos' ass. Now that looks too much like that dude from Saw. This is a prequel.
Jigsaw, no. Yeah. But that's the wild thing is the puppet had a 5 o'clock shadow. That's weird.
Also, you saw like they put a thing like on the border. Boy, they talk about Mexico. Also, look at that fucking Metal Gear.
Yeah, that's a Metal Gear.
Look at this Metal Gear.
That's just a Metal Gear, just like a Metal Gear, just like chilling. Like, hey, what's up? Hey,
No,
what's
that's
up?
their ship. That's the ship he got off of. Their
That's what the
ship is
baby-
the head of a Metal Gear.
Oh, that's what the baby coughed up.
Yes.
Oh,
That is their ship. It's a giant Metal Gear head.
it's a Metal Gear head.
Well, that's right. So apparently in this store, in this game here, you are not necessarily a delivery person as much as you used to be, but apparently you still deliver things. But now that he's established the UCA, they're using robots to do deliveries more often.
Because he had to go and reconnect the chiral network. So I guess the chiral network is reconnected. So they're like, cool, we can actually send bots to do their job now.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that ship is them trying to again, I've stopped asking about if you see weird things. Here's a weird thing. Why is that moon so fucking huge?
Drama.
We went from I think
fan. I don't ask questions about moon placements.
Okay. Also, is that a
you-
fish?
Child, who could say this game?
But yeah, like
Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
But yeah, like they kind of mentioned like, hey, they're going like it seems like they're going around the world to do similar things.
Oh,
He's no longer a part of Bridges. He is a part of Drawbridge, which is a private outfit that is being funded by a person who shall not be named at this point.
mhm.
And here are your new enemies. Robot porters.
Hold on a moment. So our enemies are Squid Game extras?
That's what it looks like.
They look like dudes from Warframe.
They seem to like have the same little jelly sacks as what was in those little baby pod things.
Oh, like bridge babies.
Yeah.
So we're out here talking about jelly
Okay.
sacks.
Now
and
this
baby
one.
pods?
Now this. Okay. Before that lifts up, what? I'm gonna let y'all catch up on the stream. What does that look like to you? That statue that's lifting up off of his thing. What does that look like?
A hood ornament.
I would say that it looks like the Game Award statue.
I mean, you should know. After 10,000 lives, I live. The Joker?
Just now, I'm gonna let this one play in its entirety. Again, like I would recommend watching this trailer with audio. It is really fucking funny to watch, and I'd be lying to you if I said I did not want to play this game.
I mean,
Again, look, the Cymbalta I am taking makes me feel a lot better about post-apocalyptic video games than I used to. So I'm kind of more on board with these games now, but this right here is like, I just, oh my goodness.
watch the fabric. Watch the fabric. Yeah.
Yeah, that little grrr.
Don't touch my baby. Don't touch my baby.
I don't know if that baby's in there. Again, they leave a lot. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions after this, but
Oh, his hair stood up. Does he have dooms?
yes, that's Higgs. Also, yes. All right, here we go. Now you're about to see what was fucking amazing about this trailer.
A me.
He is shooting bullets with a guitar.
Say something about him giving me like 80s hair metal and Aerosmith. So that's interesting.
Thunder cheap. Dirty deeds. Thunder cheap.
And again,
Dirty deeds.
he is clearly not thinking about Metal Gear as Gray Fox is literally here.
Mm-hmm.
They are having a
All right.
fucking battle
All right, niece.
with a sword and a guitar, like a literal axe.
He did a knee slide. That was wild.
Wait, what was this? That looked real awkward for like half a second.
What is that?
Well, like, what, that wooden toy that was being pushed across the floor?
Yep, that looked real awkward for a second.
It looks like
Imagine
dolphin.
him-
It looks like the dolphin toy.
Yeah, imagine him just like casually cooking his breakfast.
Also,
in the
this baby is
drawbridge's
really
break
smart.
room. Baby.
Dirty deeds done, dirt cheap. Do you mean filthy acts done at a reasonable price? What?
Yes. yes.
Yes.
Oh God. Okay. I don't know if y'all know like the context around that is.
No,
They
but I
had-
think it's hilarious.
Trying to avoid copyright issues. That.
Yeah. Yep. Oh,
Because-
heck no. Did the hands light her cigarette?
Yes, yes, it did. Now you got people sneaking around ships and trying to get secrets. You got the girl from The Ring floating in the air.
Down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Saddle, 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 saddle. Hold it down. Strap her down.
Should we have connected? I wonder if he still has that issue with touching. And of course, this trailer was edited by Hideo Kojima.
As always. 2025.
So yes, Kev, you asked like, did he have dooms? Yes, the guy that was that was Higgs.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's the
bad guy from the first one.
It'd
Troy
be
Baker.
like, yeah, oh yeah, because it's like sounds like fun. Of course it does.
And he still sounds like that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say, go watch that trailer. Please do. And all the sound.
Fine.
Just do it. It is
Fine.
fucking ridiculous.
If you hadn't insisted, I wouldn't have watched that damn trailer.
Oh my god. Because like the sound, like to hear the acting and stuff, like it's still really good. But it's like watching that for the first time and like, what the fuck is happening? What is this game? I need to go play this game now.
like that's what I felt. You know, that's what I felt though. I mean, again, I'm a lore guy. I'm familiar with Metal Gear. I'm familiar with like Death Stranding, but it's like that's why I'm able to go back and forth with you. Like, oh, he has dudes and the chiral network. But it's just more or less like this game don't make no dang sense.
But again, it's a thing too where we look. So, and I mentioned this yesterday. I was like, we live in a games industry now where so many people are afraid to sit there and take risks because if a game doesn't sell, that means layoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, nowadays that's not what that means because again,
but see,
making record profits and people should get laid off. Where it is here, we got Hideo Kojima, who is battle tested, proving that he can make a hit regardless.
Plus,
this nigga don't miss. And
plus,
Sony instead of told them, or they mentioned during their state of play that, because when he said he was making the action espionage game, Herman Ho said, we will do whatever it takes to make sure that game becomes a reality. Almost taking a huge shot at Konami with Metal Gear Solid 5. Said, look, we believe in you. We will not sit there and half-ass a project. Because Kojima said he's working on the next game after Death Stranding 2 is finished.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Herman was like, we will throw godless amounts of money at you to make sure.
Yeah.
To make sure you can bring it to fruition. And that's what I kind of love about Kojima.
It's that whole premise of this man is responsible at the time for giving Sony some of the best games that they've ever had.
Oh yeah.
And so
still technically
does. So for them to be, and then again, because a man of his caliber would have the ability to go off and be the auteur and be able to make these type of games. Because again, everybody has full and complete utter confidence in him to be able to do what he able to do. However, what happens with people who don't have access to that level, or other billion dollar companies who could make the next greatest game or bring a treasured, beloved thing back, or make a sequel to a treasured, beloved game, but don't want to do that because they don't want. But what if it fails? What if people don't buy it? But it's like people are you literally have social media, and you have a literal finger on the pulse of games and communities where people could tell you, have people been telling and screaming into your face that they want that. So just make that.
And it's the
Well,
thing
like,
too,
the
where
thing
I mean, we can sit. I mean, there is an aspect of like, hey, why aren't they making the games that we like? And it's like, well, if you sit there and gave people the money like you were giving Kojima the money, like I like Kojima because people will let him cook.
Yeah.
Now, granted, probably at the beginning, no, he was still making great games even under a decent budget. But if
Right.
you let this man cook,
Yes.
he's gonna make some off the wall bonkers shit, but it
Yeah.
will still hit.
Right.
Like people may have like played Death Stranding and say, I don't get what this game is about, but it sure did look good. It played great.
Right.
We enjoyed it, but we still don't know what the fuck it is.
So what we're hearing, everyone, is, you know, shorten for the audience. Capitalism is out here ruining your shit.
Oh, well, I mean, was that not the theme of the show? Or I don't know. It's pivoted some ways as I've become more radicalized, but yeah, it's been like, hey, from the aspect of tech, gaming, and streaming, capitalism is ruining the culture.
Mm-hmm. Because and then when you allow and when you actually, not so much you use capitalism, but you actually use capitalism as intended, you end up seeing great things come from it.
No, if you use capitalism as intended, it would still ruin. If you paid people and you actively invested in people, if you've let the money flow to the creators to actually create and not have to create to need to have money,
I think
you will see great things.
I think the easiest way to say this, right? If we because I'm just gonna put capitalism in this bubble and just like have it be there. If we just created ways for people to just be able to cook and also know that they were not going to starve or be without places to be like sheltered and exist in peace,
yes,
we would be good, great even.
Right. Basically saying we invest in people, but we also invest in our business. Not only invest in, invest in the games, invest in the stories, but also invest in our people and our core peoples and pay people living wages.
And I take it back. I wouldn't even
you
say
will get
invest.
great things from people.
And I take it back. I wouldn't even say invest. Let's say if like like with Sin, if we let people just cook, because again there are plenty of open source tools out there. Whereas like you don't have to pay for things.
But,
you sit there work with people, like if you sit there work with people who did not have to worry about where their next meal was coming from, if they be able to stay in a house.
But how do you let people cook though? By giving them the money, ergo investing in them.
Or we go socialist communist route and everybody has universal basic income. They're guaranteed housing, health insurance, food.
I'm going to bring y'all back into scope for like half a second. Just come back in the house.
No, I'm
because like y'all are like because like y'all are we're about to be outside of like tech and media and all this, and we are going to have to start talking about like economic struggles and government policy.
We literally were talking with the Australian CEO just a second ago.
Because he's an asshole, but it's also like 11:11. I'm going to have to start playing orchestral music and hit you with a teleprompter. Don't do that.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we literally did sit on like a 9-minute plus other minutes of commentary on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to share that trailer. It's my I will say it's my birthday month, but it's all of our birthday month.
All of our birthday month.
I forgot.
Wow, that is wild actually to think about.
It's Black Heritage. It's Black Excellence Month. What did you expect?
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. You're right.
Also in streaming news, Twitch does have some enhanced broadcasting they're working with NVIDIA. I think I may have touched on this a week or two ago. Thanks to Merch for writing up the article about it, kind of breaking it down into more detail. Essentially what this is going to allow for people to do is like one, using the AV1 codec that's in higher end or the 40 series of NVIDIA RTX graphics cards and also in the Intel Art cards. You're able to sit there and push higher quality videos under lower bandwidth, but also they're sitting there working on trying to better optimize their streaming technology with current existing cards. This channel has been I've submitted the channel to be put into the beta. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. But hopefully we'll have some information a little bit sooner to share with you all. So yeah, kind of bring in more information. Right now, all this is kind of slightly theoretical, but I do believe in Merge's process. Again, this is our hardware guy. Love him.
Our hardware correspondent.
Indeed.
So yeah, definitely check this article out as well. And that's going to do it for the show. Thank you, Sin, for reining this in. Because, you know, if I talk, let's see, I like to talk about capitalism. I mean, I like to talk about communism. It's near and dear to my heart. But, you know, there's a time and a place for that.
Yes.
I'm gonna. Oh wait, I have to have Discord Nitro in order to do it. But I want to put like a flag behind me.
You know something? No, I'm just saying the program that you were probably using to blur the back of your camera is something that you could probably use an image for.
Yeah, this is Discord. And Discord requires me to have Nitro to put a custom image back there.
Okay, so this that I have over here is NVIDIA Broadcast that's doing this blurring. Discord's not involved in this.
I probably should use that.
That program is free.
I know it's free.
But I mean, NVIDIA is also bullshit right now. So for fairness.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like damn. Oh yeah, I don't use NVIDIA Broadcast because I'm always associating it with the mic, the mic technology that they have, and it creates the audio delay. I forget I could just not use that, but you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the end. Kev, Sin, what do y'all have going on this coming up week?
Nothing much. Just I'll be going to a birthday party. It is my daughter's baby sister. Is turning 2, so we're gonna be spending time with them and her family. So we'll go to see them and her sister's, I guess, father's extended family, hope to say, and just hang out, eat some good angel eggs, and you know, chill this weekend. Probably next weekend we're gonna start back. We've been starting back up on the gameplay series is on videos. Oh, next week is going to be the Steam Next Fest, so I'm going to be busy, Kev, on that. Dropping out some really good demos. I dropped a really awesome demo video for this game called Boxes. Lost Fragment. Did a demo for it, and then Dev sent me a code for it, so I'm probably going to be playing a little. I'll probably be streaming more of that. And then what's awesome is on Epic they just dropped what's called Doors Paradox, and that's like a early game from the developer who created Boxes. So that's actually pretty good. So there's a demo for Boxes on Steam if you want to check that out. And Doors is also free. Doors is free on Epic. So it's one of those games where it's like puzzle type games that with Doors it focuses on doors, and Boxes, of course, it focuses on boxes. And it's a really interesting story. So I'll probably be dabbling with that next week. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
For me, I have gone to do a wonderful thing for myself. And that thing is, I had a bunch of things where plans got canceled for stuff. So I put a big block on my calendar that says, today is the day that you do absolutely nothing.
We love it. We love to hear it.
So that is the plan. I'm going to not obligate myself to do anything except for just be black and alive and whatever comes with that. So we'll see how that goes. We got a stream on Sunday. So as y'all know, I've been playing Hollow Knight forever. We decided we were going to set Hollow Knight on a break for the season. So I got a handful of games on my list to like go, let's dig that out of the archives and see how we feel about them. One of them, some of which you have probably seen played here on Tech Talk Thursday. So in the running, but we haven't decided on it yet, but in the running, we have things like Vermintide and also Minecraft Dungeons. So, find out what I decided on Sunday.
Awesome. Let's see, for me, eventually I'm gonna try to get some streaming done. Like I said, I want to add to the zeitgeist that nobody asked me to participate in, which was Spec Ops: The Line. Because I feel like, again, important game, people should see it. It should exist somewhere, seeing that nobody can buy it. Let's see here, what else is going on? I am still waiting to hear back on whether or not I'll be going to Alabama next weekend, which would mean there may not be a show next week because I will probably be traveling, if not already there. I'm working with a company to try to do VR at an anime convention in Huntsville. So that's going to be interesting. I've never been to Alabama at all. Maybe I will find some time and just even look at NASA from a distance. Wait, there is a NASA facility in Alabama, right? In Huntsville.
I believe so.
I don't know if there is.
Anyway, if not, you just stay in a hotel and, not be a bother to anybody, because Alabama is a state I said I'd never go, but here I am. Outside of that, catching up on articles, trying to get stuff written. We're going to go ahead and operate as if there will be a show. If there will not be a show, I will definitely let people know. And hey, everybody can have a Thursday back. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. With all that being said, thank you everybody for tuning into another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays for February 1st, 2024. Happy Black Excellence Month.
Happy Black Excellence Month.
Happy Black Excellence.
But yeah, on behalf of Sin, on behalf of Kev, it's been your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux. Saying thank you. Of course, you all can be anywhere in the world watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech and gaming news yourself, because that's where we do news here now. We're back to news. We're no longer on Nugs. We're on news again. Because somebody's writing the news. We don't deal with rumors. But you said, no, we want to see a Metal Gear come out of a baby's throat. And for that, Kev didn't want to see that. Kev did not want to see that.
The disgust on your face at this moment.
Bird did not want to see that baby look cross-eyed at it, like, ooh. But for that, I said thank you. Thank you for watching it with us. Really appreciate it. Hideo Kojima has definitely not gotten over Metal Gear.
Nope.
Well, yeah, with all that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, you can catch these shows on YouTube, majors.house/TTTvid. You can catch the audio versions over at majors.house/TTT. If you would like to write in, ttt@majorshouse.com. Do you sense a theme here? And of course, you can go to majors.house/Discord if you'd like to join Discord server and comment on the articles as they get posted to the server. And it's Desk Chair Analysts at 2.majorshouse.com, which we found out today, because I forgot what I named that bot when I created it. If you would like to get the posts as they come out directly from the site. So yeah, got all that going on. It's a great time. It's a lovely time to be over at dcanalyst.net. But until next time, all I've got left to say to you wonderful people is I love you. And peace.
On the forever.
I feel like this is where we say, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black,
I'm black,
y'all,
y'all.
and I'm blackity black,
and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blackity black, black, blackity black, because I'm black and I'm back.